What is up, guys? On this week's episode, we sat down with our good friend Patrick Chaves. We pretty much broke down the college route, the high school route. He is an engineering at General Dynamics, and pretty much we touched all the topics: how to go through high school without throwing a book at a teacher, how to pick your college courses properly, and then he actually is a new dad. Congratulations, Pat! And this episode was a lot of fun. We appreciate you having. Fuck it, I don't give a fuck. We appreciate your presence.
I had a blast.
Yeah, man. Hey,
if you guys ever need, a filler, I'd be more than happy to come back and
talk
about anything.
Part 2, Part 3, Part 4.
We'll just need Pat for everything now.
I'll be a regular guest.
Yeah.
We'll just have you on for like a future guest now, just like Pat right there. Yeah, and then like break it down, like why did you do and then I'll be out of a job. You guys are not going to want to miss this episode. Too Legit starts right now. Backtrack. Ladies and gentlemen, one of our good friends, Alex's best friend, I assume, but it's okay because I can be replaced as best friend as well. Patrick Chaves, welcome, Pat. You know, you've been a friend of ours for a while, a friend of Alex's for a while, and welcome. We really enjoy your presence here right now.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
I'm fucking with the vibe. I'm fucking with the outfit, dude.
Oh, dude.
The red hat's throwing me off, though. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't like the red hat?
I didn't say I didn't like it. I'm just saying it's throwing off the vibe. You know what I mean? Me, I got my Santorini shirt.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, bro.
Greek? Is it Greece?
It's Greece, yeah, with the big logo on the back, bro.
Yeah.
Love t-shirts like this.
Yeah.
But
I was actually not gonna wear a hat today, and then my wife's like, I haven't had a haircut in like over a month
Dude.
and a half. She's like, put a hat on.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be on camera, put a hat on.
So the thing with it, I'm rugged as fuck right now, as you can clearly tell. I got my haircut is Saturday, but dude, I'm like, I don't know if I can make it. Like, I'm just ready to shave it all off. And I'm like, if I'm at the job site, the beard would just get tense, like stiff. And I'm like trying to I'll literally bring a brush to work just so I can just comb it out. And then you just see a bunch of guys just watching a grown-ass man combing out his beard in the middle of the parking lot.
Yeah, no, it's getting so tough, dude. Everyone's getting so booked up, especially now you have to reserve everything on an app. I miss the days I could just walk in and be like, you good today? You open any time? I'll be back in 30 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And now it's like, I come in, like, gotta go on the app, and I go on, it's like 2 or 3 days booked.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow.
Bro, not even that, bro. Like, I have a good barber. I'm not gonna shout him out in here because I don't want people to go to him, and I don't want him to be more booked up than he already is. Bro, he will open his bookings up for the month. Yeah. Bro, literally, if you're not there like the first day or two, you get shitty days to pick from. You get like a Tuesday at like 9 o'clock. I'm like, bro, I'm at work at Tuesday at 9 o'clock. How the hell am I gonna get a haircut? Yeah. But if you're not, call out to go get a haircut, bro. Yeah, I got a doctor's appointment, bro. You come in with a fresh cut. Your boss is like, what's going on?
I think the last 5 or 6 haircuts I've gotten have all been through PTO. Like take an hour off, 2 hours off work.
Yeah.
Run straight to the barber.
See, that's I think that's the move sometimes. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just slacking.
I think you are, Mr. Fucking Traffic Cone. Yo, let me tell you about my day real quick before we jump into you.
Yeah. I'm all ears. Tell me about your day.
My day was shit, all right? I worked on a fucking rooftop all day long, right? In the morning, it wasn't that bad, but then, like, towards, like, midday, like, it started getting, like, really hot on that roof. And they just freshly put down some, like, tar or whatever it's fucking called. Dude, I'm, like, sweating my dick off up there, and I'm like lugging like 4-inch cast iron, fucking, I have to put down like pipes going through the roof and everything like that, and then I have to secure these pipes. The problem is the way I secure it, you gotta cut open the roof. So I'm like, these guys just put brand new fucking shit down. I gotta tell them to cut it out. They looked at me like I had 5 heads. I'm like, yeah, I kind of need this, son. He's like, well, that kind of sucks. We're leaving. And and I'm like, oh, fuck. I look at the time. It's like 1 o'clock. I'm like, you guys definitely have a few more hours, but whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But that was honestly like the hottest day I've ever worked on, to be honest with you, like so far in my life.
Yeah, it's like 90 degrees.
So you do plumbing, right?
Yeah.
So what were you doing that you needed to cut a hole in the roof?
So we have like in plumbing, it's called vent, like a vent system.
Yeah.
So what we do is obviously we tie it in all together inside the building, and then we have to have like a roof penetration is what we call it. coming out, and so that's why I was on the roof putting up like big like 50-pound pipes just going through the roof.
I've always wondered, is that for like to cause like air ventilation for the drainage?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the drainage drops.
So pretty much shit
Pressure.
goes downhill, air goes up. That's
Yeah.
that's literally how I
Yeah.
easily remember it. So, but it's tough when it's fucking like 4-inch like big cast iron pipe.
Oh yeah.
It's man, because you have to be like careful too. Because I'm like literally looking at the thing because it's like 7 feet tall past the roof, past like the flat of the roof. I'm like, man, I hope this does not fall. I really do. But at the same time, I hope it does because fuck that job. I don't give a fuck about that job. I'm going on vacation this Sunday, dude.
Nice.
I'm leaving on Sunday. I don't have to worry about that.
Where are you going?
We're going to Europe. Not Santorini, unfortunately, but
False advertising.
yeah, nah. I do want to go here. I think I'm gonna go
Beautiful
ahead next
islands,
year. Yeah. Have you been?
I have not.
No?
But I've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
I've seen Google images.
I have Oculus VR.
But yeah, I'm going to what is it? Amsterdam, Belgium, Germany. Don't follow me, motherfuckers. Don't follow me over there. London and Paris, and it's crazy because the Olympics are happening in Paris right now. So hopefully I'll catch like the tail end of like the craziness. You know what I mean? So, but no, it's going to be a fun time.
So you're gonna like land there and then like take a train around, or you?
Yeah, I'm going to land there, and then it's like a tour thing. So they do like a whole bus, which is pretty cool because I like doing stuff like that where I don't have to drive. Well, I have to take a train. The only time I have to take a train is when from Paris to London because they have that like underwater train.
Yeah.
You know, underneath the channel. So, Pat.
Yeah.
Dude, we were talking about this before. So now you used to work at Workout World, you know?
Yeah. I worked there when I was in college.
Yeah, no problem with that. Because Alex told a funny story about how he wore a MAGA hat to Workout World.
I remember you used to wear it. Yeah, I was like, he's got balls.
But then you took it away from him one day.
Did I? I probably did. I honestly, I'm a Republican. I think I was just doing it for your safety. You know, that's
exactly what I said.
Yeah, it's like my mom, hardcore Trump supporter. She has a sign, and I put it all in the back of the driveway. I'm like, listen, I don't want no one trying to egg your house. I don't want anyone trying to cause problems. You know.
See, that's the problem. Like, we can't openly voice our own opinion on who we want to vote for. You know.
And I feel like this is an excellent time to mention that we have some merch that's coming soon with fucking Make the Trades Great Again. We're just drop a nice little image here. Tiago's been working very hard on them. They look very cute and pretty and all those things.
I'll show you my concept afterwards, Pat. That way you can get it before all these fuckers.
I'll wear it. I'll rep it.
Yeah, hey, fuck. Well, you gotta be careful because you might get jumped. But that's a sad thing nowadays, though. Like I can't. Like even at work, I try to talk about it, and then they're like, "Sure, you don't want to piss anybody off." It's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, what the hell? It's my personal opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but I agree. At work, you want to avoid all those conversations just because I try to avoid religion. I try to avoid, like even sometimes, like, you shouldn't be ashamed, but like I wear a crucifix all the time, and I'm always like, not trying to hide it, but like I'm not trying to show it off either. You know,
because you can like ruffle some feathers.
I don't want anyone to feel like I'm, judging, like, especially like if they're LGBTQ, it's like just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean I hate you.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't want anyone to feel like just because they're that kind of way, like I'm gonna judge them. So I kind of keep it private.
Yeah.
Just.
But still, though, that's kind of like, oh, what the fuck, dude? Like, I gotta hide what like I support just to like protect myself.
Yeah, it is. It's
very sad.
No, it's a crappy situation. It's
it
because
is.
like, and you have to understand, everyone has their own side. So I always look at politics, and I always try to, like today when I saw the thing about the Olympics. Before we were talking about how there was a transgender in the boxing in the Olympics.
Yep.
The first thing I did is like, let's go to Scopes. Let's go see if it's false or true, and like try to trace it down. And I was getting mad when I was seeing that girl get beat up in 45 seconds.
Yeah. She got a broken nose and everything like that too.
Yeah, she had to literally wave her hand, and I'm like, this is crazy. But then 2 minutes of research, I'm like, oh, okay. The girl's
makes sense now.
She's not a transgender. She just has lots of testosterone, looks like a guy.
I was going to say, what's that site you went to for the research? Scopes?
I think it's called Scopes, yeah.
Scopes, yeah.
So it tells you real quick, like, false or true satire, like.
Maybe that's how
exaggerated.
X gets their fucking there's like
Fact-checking?
Yeah, that's how X probably gets it.
Probably.
Elon Musk doesn't want to say it, but he's like, yeah, I use Scopes.
It could be Scopes or Snopes. It could be something. I know something like that. I just type it in.
We're obviously giving like the wrong fucking title and everything.
We're doing our best out here.
Yeah. So Pat, you're now an engineer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big shot over here, guy.
Yeah, master's
Hey, I'm
degree,
gonna be
yeah.
real with you. Like, I've never had a good conversation with an engineer.
No one
because
does.
every single engineer I've dealt with is just stupid or retarded.
It's because a lot of engineers think because they design it, they know everything about it. But it's the people who are putting it together who see the faults, especially if they're dealing with it every day. Like I've designed stuff and we do our best. It makes sense mathematically. The equations work. The computer tells us, hey, this all makes sense. It's green. Put it through. And then when it goes to production, it's usually the techs who find. I'm over here holding this cup up. Who find like the issues, and it's like now it's like, all right, no, did I do a mistake or does tech actually find a mistake in my work?
Because that's the problem. Like, you guys put it into computer. You know what I mean? Because the
Yeah.
same thing goes with, like, estimating a job out. They'll put, like, the specifications on the computer. But they won't, like... But they're missing, like, a bunch of other shit,
Yeah.
But I feel like... I don't know. Like, that's not the way... I feel like you have to, like, physically see it. Not to understand, like, what we're dealing with, but just to see, like, the job itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So from an engineer's point of view, like we do build it. We build a prototype. We test it for a few hundred hours or maybe thousands of hours, and then we don't see any issues. So we're like, all right, let's send this through.
Yeah.
But then once you get like a mass amount of it, bugs pop up.
Yep.
It could just be simple things like the gasket's not on tight enough, or we need to change certain materials so you get a better, tightness or something.
Yeah. So how long have you been an engineer for? Like, you recently graduated, right? Or
No.
I forget how.
2017, I graduated.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So
so
it's been a
7
while.
years ago. Yeah.
Time flies, man.
Yeah.
So obviously, like you've graduated 7 years ago, but like the way I sort of met Patrick to kind of all bring it all the way back and sort of tied all this whole piece together is we met at Diamond. I don't think I knew you in middle school. What middle school did you go to?
I went to St. Michael. Yeah,
St. Michael?
It was high school. Yeah.
Okay.
I was a sophomore and you were a freshman.
Yeah.
Oh, so Patrick was way before me, guy. Yeah, I was 2013 when I graduated, so I started school in 09.
Yeah, I graduated 2010.
Oh.
Yeah.
I might remember. Did you do co-op?
No.
No. Yeah. Maybe I remember you. Oh, that's wild. Because you were a sophomore?
2011, I graduated.
Yeah, you were a junior when I was a freshman. I'm trying to fucking add up the numbers right now.
I was an engineer, dude.
Yeah.
So it looks like you were a sophomore when I was a senior.
Yeah,
Or a freshman. You were a freshman.
Yeah.
Freshman or
Sure.
sophomore.
Why not? Let's go with that. Let's just go with that story.
Because if he graduated 2011 and he was a year below me and you're 2 years under him, junior, so you were a freshman.
Dude, I've been running numbers all day in my head. I'm moving for my numbers right now. So, so you do engineer. What's like kind of like the day to day normally? Like, obviously you deal with like a bunch of like different projects, but
So
like day to day, normally what like kind of goes through your day? You know what I mean?
So what's cool in my field is like as an engineer, I'm not sure how it is in the commercial world, but in like
I'll tell you.
in the defense world, you're given contracts, and in the contracts there's like a scope of work, and it's like this is what we need to get done. Here's
and just even for context, right? You're an electrical engineer, so that might be.
I'm electrical. I do some reliability, some FRACUS, which is like failure reviews and like. So yeah, my background's electrical. My education's electrical. Yeah. So yeah, you get a period performance, and then you just get it done. Like I don't have a micromanaging boss or anything. I have no one like over my shoulder. It's like it's usually like professionals. It's like, hey, here's a task. We need it by December 1st, and if you get it done in 1 week before December, you get it done. If you spread it out slowly, you'll get X amount of hours. They say, hey, we need this done within 300 hours total. Like don't spend more than 300. But yeah, so and a lot of time it takes me, you have to go into the office to see the equipment. Sometimes you're working from home. Sometimes you're working from Dunkin' Donuts. Like just.
Shout out to Dunkin' Donuts. I fucking love Dunkin' Donuts, and this is a perfect time to say Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts. If you're listening, or somebody that works there, I love your s'mores donut. The kiwi watermelon fresher slaps. And we would love to be sponsored by you.
As Patrick is drinking a Starbucks on the side of us.
Actually, no. So the cool thing was with that, it's homemade.
It's just a cup.
It's just a cup. Yeah. It's just the cup. But yeah, because because I'm not part of that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not part of the whole like. You guys going through. I'm like the second part of it, where you guys like push the numbers. You did all the things. And now you're relying on the text to put it out there.
Yeah.
So like, what's some of the pros and cons that you kind of deal with? Like because I don't know what your pros might be my cons, and my cons might be your pros. You know what I mean?
There's a huge disconnect between the techs and the engineers.
I think so.
So, because not only like does the engineer go through it, then there's a team of engineers that review it. You know, so you're not the only person. Like when I send something out, it doesn't go straight to the tech. Team reviews it, and then we test it out, and then before it reaches you guys, we try to say it's been tested already. You know, we have test engineers, we have quality engineers, we have, you know, engineers for engineers. You know, so it's kind of hard. Like I don't actually ever talk to a tech unless I'm really trying to find a problem.
Yeah.
Like especially in the reliability world. Now that I'm doing some reliability at GD, it's you come in, someone says, "Hey, this thing keeps failing on us." You know, like, is this a normal? You know, and every part has like a mean time between failure. So like we have an estimated like idea of how long it should last for the quantity we buy. And I'm like, you check it? It's like, oh no, it's meeting it. If it's not meeting it, it's like, is it the part or is it the parts that are surrounding it? Is it the design? Like how, like is this thing we think it's rated for 50 volts, but it's, you know, sometimes this circuit
Take a breath. Take a breath.
Surges. Sometimes the circuit surges and you'll get like 60 volts for a 50 volt. And, and it's like, it all depends on where it is too. Like, especially working on with boats. Sometimes boats are working on the motor.
Yep.
Sometimes it's connected to shore, you know, like, so it's connected to power source. So it's like, there's so many factors and go into it. And a lot of times I'm chasing techs down. A lot of times I'm chasing sailors down.
Yep.
You know, I'm just trying to like chase people down and try to get an idea of like, when this failure happened, what was the environment? You know, was this out in the water? Was this in a depot somewhere?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, because like normally I never see engineers. That's the disconnect that like I really see.
Mm-hmm.
I only know two people that are engineers. It's you and my buddy Cam, and you guys are different engineers. You know, you do electrical, he does bridges and all that.
So civil.
Yeah, civil. He's a civil engineer. Shout out to Cam. And like I feel like they're so disconnected because they're only mainly there for just to see if it works, to test it. You guys never really come on the job site, I'm assuming, right?
No, well, my test site is, you know, like boats and like.
So
I do go on the boats.
you go on the boat?
Yeah, I go on the boats.
I need to pray to God. Fucking hell! I hope my fucking work works.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, then I'm gonna fucking drown. That's it. I'm gonna fall overboard.
Well, yeah. I mean, the boat's been invented a long time, so it's not, I'm not designing no boat. You know, I designed the equipment that goes on the boat, so like my safety's assured already.
You're like crystal.
I'm just worried, is this thing gonna turn on? You know?
Yeah, all of a sudden it just trips, loses power in the middle of the ocean. That's a scary thing.
Yeah.
You've been on boats, but like leisurely, like, you know, like chilling, like.
Yeah, my cousins all have boats.
Yeah.
So, you know, Aquapalooza, all those things.
Oh man, I love Aquapalooza. Did Aquapalooza just happen, or is it just?
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't go.
You didn't go?
I have a newborn at home. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Congratulations, man!
You, yeah.
Damn. Oh, what do you say? Fucking. You're not a kid until you're holding the kid in your arms, and I'm like that. I live by that quote now.
Yeah.
That's an awesome quote. So first of all, congrats on you know, becoming a dad, bro.
Yeah.
We need the dad get up. What the fuck is this?
I
we need the sketches, the jorts.
No, I got my New Balances. That's the.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, what did I say? Sketches.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. I'm like fucking I have a beer deep and I'm like plugs.
No, I got the whole dad outfit already. This is part of it, you know, the Hawaiian shirt a little bit. You know.
Did you walk out of the hospital with the dad outfit or no?
No.
All right.
No. You know, honestly, you're in the hospital for so many days. I was there for 4.5 days.
Oh wow.
I left there looking like a complete bum. You know, like my son was born in September.
Yeah.
I was like wearing like a Patriots hoodie. You know, like some maybe pajamas. I don't
Going
know.
that Bill Belichick lookout guy.
Yeah, exactly. I was worn out. Just eating hospital food and just sleeping on a little couch. You know.
That's rough, dude. I know the little couch that you're talking about too.
Yeah.
I'm not a dad, but
I mean,
Dog dad.
yeah, I'm a dog dad.
Yeah.
But I've been in that situation.
I mean, the woman definitely has it harder. You know?
No shit. They just pushed out a kid guy.
My wife definitely had the harder end of the job.
And that's why I'm like, when like we're ready to have a kid, I'm not gonna complain one damn minute.
Dude, I was trying so hard to be useful. So I'm like, they have like a little machine attached to her, and it tells you right before the contraction comes. So I'm just sitting there, right? I'm like, hey, babe, get ready. It's coming. And she's like, I don't need to be warned. She's like, I already feel it. I'm like, all right, just letting you know, it's a big one. Because it gives you peaks and stuff on it's like an oscilloscope looking thing. I'm like,
You're trying to be supportive. I like that,
I'm
Patrick.
trying to be, you know, it's like trying to be useful in some way. Because you're just sitting there. It's like the doctors come in, they like push you aside, like, you're parent number 2. You know what I mean? Like,
He's like, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here.
we're talking to parent number 1 right now.
Dude, that's, oh man. I'm happy for you, first of all.
thanks,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm married. I recently got married. And then like, she's talking about like kids and everything like that. So it's really nerve wracking. But it's kind of like such a beautiful thing too. You know what I mean? So I'm going to get so sentimental on this fucking podcast. I'm going to start crying and shit.
It changes everything.
It changes your life,
It
right?
changes everything.
Like,
It's like it's the biggest commitment because like if people like 18 years, but it's not just that. It's like when I say commitment, like it takes up your whole day.
Yeah.
Like even now, like I'm being here, I'm having a great time, but I'm thinking like,
You're
yeah,
thinking about
my son's
yourself.
home right now waiting for me probably. Like,
Yeah.
you get home, biggest smile.
Yeah.
He's like he just saw his whole world just come in the door. It's like
How old is your son?
he just turned 10 months.
10 months.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Are we invited to the cookout for the 1 year?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Fuck yeah!
I just bought the invitation, so they'll be in next week.
Oh shit! Fucking, we're just gonna put 2 legit stickers all over the place, guy.
Bring the beers.
Bring the beers. No, that's good, man. And so, oh man, so many questions about dadhood now.
Yeah.
What's been like? So obviously the pro is like, you come home every day, like you can, even if you have like the worst day.
Oh, yeah, that's-
You know, the worst day at work, like.
It changes your mood 100%.
But like the minute you see the face, right?
That's the second.
That's what a lot of people tell me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, I'm assuming like fucking the worst thing probably is diaper changes, right? He threw up in his mouth.
No,
He threw up in his mouth. That's how bad it was.
To me, it's not bad. I mean, I'm very fortunate. So we decided for my family, it works best for my wife to just stay home.
Oh, okay.
You know, she was a dental hygienist,
Oh, okay.
but for now she's gonna stay home, take care of the kid, and maybe kids. You know, in the near
Kids?
future. Yeah.
Oh.
I always wanted a bigger family, like maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're an only child, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love being an only child. I loved it. But, you know, I want multiple kids for me.
Yeah.
I feel like I do feel guilty. Like, I feel like sometimes, like, I love my son so much. I love giving my full attention. I'm like, if I have another kid, I might be splitting my attention now.
Yeah. So now you
So-
gotta pick favorites.
Yeah. But,
And then they always say like, "Oh, I love you both equally."
Yeah.
Like,
no.
be real.
no. Have you seen your brother play soccer? You know?
His step over is a little bit better.
yeah.
So, man, this is awesome, dude. I've never spoken with a newborn dad before. Because all the guests that we had, it's like they've already been dads for like 10 plus years. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like it's not the same, but it's different when it's a baby. You know what I mean? The first 3 months must have been like a little hard, right? That's what they always say.
No, dude, Massachusetts is awesome. We got paternity leave for the first 3 months. So
Oh, I meant about the kid, but yeah, we can talk about
no,
Massachusetts.
but the thing is, it's tougher when you go back to work.
Because you don't
know.
want to leave. Bro.
You don't
You've
wanna
been,
leave,
Like
yeah.
so
So
comfortable. This
The
whole
3
time.
months you're learning. You're literally just learning to be a parent.
Yeah.
You know, you're learning all the cues. Yeah, at first I was like, does he need a diaper change? Like, trying to look, you know, I'm like, is it blue line or yellow line? What does it mean pee? You know, like, but you know, after like, you know, a week of that, you're basically a pro, and you know your kid so well. You learn your kid.
Yeah.
So like, my wife, she knows him way better than I do. She knows right before he poops. She takes his diaper off sometimes and puts him over the toilet, right? So to practice like potty training at like a few months old. But she sees his face and she's like, he's about to poop. Takes his diaper off and there's a turd coming right out of him. And I'm like, wow, you called that.
That's mother's intuition right
Yeah.
there. That's what's
Yeah.
up, dude. Moms are so like women are so like fucking. It's crazy to think like the intuition and like
I had to be something when the bonding when the baby was inside of him.
100%, dude.
Because like my wife was already super attached and like crazy about our son before he was even born, and I was so excited.
Yeah.
But like I didn't feel like a dad until you hold him.
Until you're not
It's
a
like-
kid until you hold the
Yeah,
kid.
yeah, because like I really I used to always be afraid to hold kids too. You know, it's like I was like, someone would be like, "Oh, you want to hold my baby?" I'm like, let's not. Yeah, just be safe. I
That's a lot
want
of
to.
responsibility,
I
yeah.
want to.
That
but
is a lot of
Let
responsibility.
me wait till he's like 15, 20 pounds. You know, then I'll be more.
I could drop him. Like,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
But when they put your own kid in your arms, it's like you're not even scared of hurting him. You're scared of everything else hurting him. You know, you start thinking about the world. You start thinking about, you know, like public school systems, and you're like, I'm like, hey, instantly, I'm over here. I'm putting my kid in private school. you know?
100%. I agree with
Yeah.
that statement. My wife already told me, she was like, "Fuck the public school system.
Yeah.
My son's gonna go to Catholic school."
I want to be able to put my 2 cents into the curriculum.
Yeah.
You know, maybe even be a substitute teacher. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
Mr. Pat.
Well, I mean, technically, you could teach, right? Because you have your master's degree.
Yeah. Yeah. So I could just walk in there with my laptop from work, and then use PTOs, clock out, teach a class real quick, clock right back into work.
That's a power move, guy. Holy shit. Did you ever think about that, like teaching or not really?
No.
All right, because I know Alex, thought about it for a while.
Well, I mean, Patrick, I've done multiple things in
I was
college.
gonna say, Alex did a lot. I remember I met you when you were nursing. Then I'd met you in nursing. In college, I remember he went to nursing. He went to engineering, and Alex got straight A's on everything. Alex could have done whatever he wanted. I was so impressed, like seeing him do his. I remember we went to the library once, and kid is brilliant. He could have been an engineer. He could have been a doctor. He could have been whatever he wanted, you know?
And now I'm just a bum on a podcast.
Hey, whoa, hang on. Hey, you're not just a bum on a podcast. You're a bum on the Two Legit podcast guy.
You got your marketing degree, though, right? Yeah. Yeah.
So, go ahead.
But dude, like I remember, like it's to the engineering point when I was doing my engineering stuff, like calculus and stuff. Like I remember, like just sitting down with Patrick and like him, he really helped me out, man. Like there's something about sitting down with someone and like talking through shit that helps so much. But like, man, if this dude wanted to be a teacher for real, he's really good. Even breaking it down, like making it fun. Like math, I mean. For a non-engineer guy, like math isn't that fun. But when you're with your homie and he's like, breaking it down, it's like soccer examples. I'm like, oh, I kind of get this shit, you know?
It's easy when you're with your friends. When you're with other...
With like random people.
Yeah, I tried tutoring in school too. I've tried tutoring.
Hard.
And it's hard because...
It's hard because it's awkward?
No, because a lot of kids don't study. You know, they come to you to teach them how to do their homework. But it's like, I'm here to help you with what you already know. So show me what you did wrong. I can point to you what you did wrong, and then we can talk about why that's wrong. Mm-hmm. They come to me with nothing, and I'm just like, all right, let's get started. And then I can, they're looking at me like, where do we start?
Well, put your name on the page first.
Like, what chapter are we on? You know, I don't even know what kind of problems you have right now.
Yeah.
You're showing me nothing, and they just didn't care.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with like these kids nowadays. They just whatever.
It's like they wanted me to hold them accountable to do their homework. Yeah.
That's a big thing now. It's like nobody's being held accountable for their own things.
Oh, when I went back for my master's too, I'm worried about the people coming in from COVID generation. These kids who got their degree from home, all cheaters.
Hey, I'm not even bullshitting, right? So my wife obviously she went through schooling through COVID, and like she was so swamped because she took too many classes. Mm-hmm. So Tiago, being the nice guy that he is, decided to do all of her math fucking shit. All of it. And I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. This is like beyond math for me. Yeah. You know what helped? There's an app. I forgot what it's called. It's like Chegg? No, not Chegg. It's like Math Labs or something like that.
There's a
few apps where all you gotta do,
math stuff.
All you gotta do is just take a photo of the problem, and they'll show you step by step on how to do it. Bro, she got a 97 in that class because of me. That's why.
Because of that.
No, let's hang on.
And if you're the college or university who awarded her degree, he's just kidding. This is just banter. That didn't really happen.
All this is just, hypotheticals.
She already graduated, so it's all good.
So fuck you guys.
But no, it's scary to think like these younger like college kids that come in, because I've been firsthand. I've seen it, like like supers or like general contractors that are on job sites. They bring in these college kids, like, and not even interns, just like fresh out of college, like brand new engineers, and they're just like swinging their weight around, thinking they're hot shit. And I'm like, buddy,
are you interns?
Interns,
dude. The interns that I deal with, they look like little deer in headlights. They're trying so hard to just like be useful, but I feel bad because we give them just like data entry work. Like, here's a bunch of data. I need you to put this in Excel for us. I could do it myself, but you're here. Like
make yourself useful.
And like they're all gun ho about it. They're like, yeah, no problem. They'll finish it before lunch and be like,
all right, what's next?
What's next? You could have probably dragged this on for another hour or two. You're getting paid by the hour. Like,
they're like, would you like a coffee, Mr. Chaves?
Yeah, I wish.
No, but that's the thing now. Like, I've dealt with that a few times where like. A project that I was on before, there was a brand new engineer straight out of UMass Amherst. Wicked nice dude. I'm not going to say his name, but he's a wicked nice dude. Came out of Amherst, but he did not do anything. And he graduated from Amherst during the COVID year. So I'm like, dude, and he went out into the field. Had no idea what he's doing. I'm like asking him a bunch of questions and shit, like plumbing related. And he's like, and I'm like, what the hell?
He shouldn't have been out in the field.
Yeah.
So I always tell every intern that comes through my desk is like, I'm looking at you. You're a clean slate. You prove to me that you know how to learn by getting your degree. So now we're gonna teach you how to be a real engineer. Mm-hmm. Like for me, school is just a test. Prove to me how much you can learn. You know, like if you can, if you're a master's degree, I assume at that point you mastered the degree. That's very different. But just getting your bachelor's, I'm like, I'm sure you guys know nothing about what we're about to do here, and I'm gonna teach you guys, and don't be afraid. You know.
That's honestly a good attitude to sort of have, though, because like kids coming out of school or even the trades, right? Like when you first got into like plumbing, like I imagine like learning in like MTTI or whatever the fuck you're learning, and then going onto the job site, it's like a world of a difference, right?
It's night and day. It's so different because think about it. When you're in school, it's a controlled environment. Mm-hmm. The same thing at Diamond too, where you're in a controlled environment. If you mess up, they're gonna pat you on the back and be like, "It's okay. This is how you messed up."
Depending on who your shop teacher is.
Yeah. So, but out in the field, dude, it's on you. Like nobody's gonna tell you what you did wrong. You're gonna find out yourself, and then you gotta figure that out yourself. If you don't have like a good foreman either, they're gonna be like, "Well, figure it out." Like, you know what I mean? Because I remember my first year in plumbing, I messed up a few times, but then my foreman was a piece of shit. He was a dickhead. He was like, "Well, you put it together, and now you can fucking figure out how to fix it." And I'm like young into the field. I'm like, bro, I have no idea. Like, luckily, when you surround yourself with people that like, that are helpful when you work with, especially when you're like in a clutter and everything like that, it's good to have those type of people because like sometimes you do need help. You know what I mean? So shout out to those guys that helped me out. Now I'm not saying I'm a master plumber yet, but I could definitely like. I look back like 3 years ago where I was to where I was now, and I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. I blow that guy out of the water, you know what I mean? So
what's that been like for you, Patrick? So because like obviously in school, like engineering is no walk in the park. They in terms of college degrees, they say that's kind of the hardest one you can kind of get. All the other ones are kind of like bullshit, to be honest. Especially business. Business is always like the joke one, you know what I mean? Yeah. But engineering, it's like it's hard work. But then getting to the field, I imagine it's completely different. Like what was your experience? Yeah. What was your experience like that transition between college and the actual real world?
I think I used like 20% of what I learned in college. But like I said, you learn the ability to learn. You know what I mean? So it's like almost every new project I get on, first thing I do is I look up journals like from other colleges of people who actually worked on. Oh, okay. Like I do a lot of equations, like Monte Carlo, Poisson, exponential, and I'm trying to see like what would be the best thing to prove. Not only you have to create something, you have to prove it through math. Like you have to be able to show like the government or whoever, like, hey, this is how we expect it, and this is the formulas we used, and it's always a constant learning. As an engineer, we're just not every day, but every new program I get on, it's like I'm starting from scratch. So
especially with like, because the thing is, right, as you like move forward with like move on in your company or wherever you are, you always want to adapt. You always want continuously learning. Is that like one of the things where people miss out? Like they'll like put it to the back burner and be like, well, I know everything. Like I just graduated school, so I must know everything.
Yeah, because the engineers are dangerous. There's a joke that I always tell people.
Do you say strapped? Do you say strapped?
No, it's because did you ever hear that saying like you never ask an engineer for medical advice?
I've never heard any engineer jokes or like things.
Well,
so
maybe,
like everything's gonna be like no.
It's because we'll give it to you. We'll give you the medical advice because we do think we know everything. You ask me something like, oh, let's just think systematically, procedural. When did you start feeling like this?
You start breaking it down like maybe I have my doctorate too. You did not know that. But I've never heard that joke, and it's actually pretty funny. But that's a problem nowadays. Fuck, I got something.
No, yeah, a lot of people think they know it all, especially if they've been in the field for a few years.
Especially young people, though. Young people, like I don't like older people. Like if you think you know everything, like hey, you've been in the field since I was a diaper. It's fine, you know everything. But younger people that claim that they know, and then they get put onto something, and then all of a sudden they like fumble. I hate seeing that, but at the same time, it's so rewarding to see it because it humbles them. You know what I mean? I deal with the same thing at during trades too. Like working in the trades, like young high school kid. Yeah. He's like, I'll tell him like, oh hey, do this. He's like, yeah, I know how to do it. I'm like, oh okay, go ahead. Comes back to me 5 minutes. Yeah, I fucked up. Well, if you know how to do it, then you know how to fix it. Yeah. And that's going back to the whole like foreman thing. I don't want to be a bad foreman like the last foreman that did that to me, but it's like. Yo, bro, don't say you know everything when you don't. Just let me help you. I'm here to help you. Humility. Yeah, it's all about being humble. I think that's the thing.
I tell every engineer the same thing. Like, find a mentor right away. I'm a senior engineer already, so like I have a mentor still, but I also have mentees now. You know, like I have like people who reach out to me whenever they're stuck on something, and half the time I don't know how to solve it either. But I'm like, I'll help you figure it out. You know, like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's like a good piece of advice for someone like, because this is gonna be for engineers, but I think it's for anyone who's starting off in like a new field. Like, what's a good way to sort of start? Obviously, finding a mentor, but like, if you were gonna engineer again, right, from transitioning from college into the field, are there like some things that you wish you knew, or like to just kind of help you get there quicker?
I think I got really lucky. I went to a really good company. I started off at Raytheon at the time. It's RTX now, and my section manager introduced me to every engineer possible, and he made it a point to, hey, have you been reaching to these guys out? Like, he didn't say like find mentors, but he was telling me like, I want you to communicate with these guys on a regular basis, build friendships with them, feel comfortable with them. So whenever you have an issue, you don't come running to me, even though he's my section manager. So in the engineering world, we have program managers, section managers. We have all different kinds of managers. The section manager finds you the work, like the contracts, and then the program manager, they belong to that contract. They're like the program manager of that contract. Mm-hmm. So like the section manager introduced me to everybody, different kind of programs, and you go to the section manager for everything, for advice, like HR questions, for technical questions, for any kind of question. But he was trying to set me up to talk to every engineer there who's in the electrical field. Right. And that's what I did. I had like probably 4 or 5 mentors before I narrowed it down to like 1 or 2 guys that I felt very comfortable like texting them, on a regular basis. Like, hey, I know it's 9 o'clock at night, but I'm still working. Are you free right now for a phone call?
Like, what the fuck?
I had one guy. A few months in, I found out he's actually my neighbor. Like, he lives like around the block. We worked in Portsmouth, so it was a huge shock. I'm like, oh wow, you drive the same commute as I do. But he became one of my mentors. I started reaching out to him for every little thing. Like every time I had a question, every time I had issues, and he started reaching me out for like. He's an older guy. He'd be like, hey, can you help me move this generator? I'd be like, I'll be right there.
Whatever you need.
Yeah, I'll help you in the ways I can.
So is that kind of like the best way to go about it then? Because
Talk
like
to a lot of people.
You don't know anything, so it's like you reach out to as many people as possible,
yeah,
right?
and you have to go in there accepting like you're gonna annoy a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I never have been scared to annoy people. It's
like, you're very friendly and like personable too,
Yeah.
so you're not like one of those like. That's one thing about engineers, man. Not to shit on engineers, but in general, it's like very usually introverted, very socially awkward. Of the engineers I've met in my life, dude, you're the most like outgoing, and probably shout out to Workout World and that sales job, right? A little bit, right?
I think that's all sales. Yeah, it was. But I think it's changing a little bit. I see a lot of younger engineers come in and like they look hip. Like the engineers that I started off with were all overweight, curly haired, like coming to work with headphones, ignoring people, to like these chads with the slick back hair, and like I was like, that was a change, like.
Yeah, when did engineering become cool?
Yeah.
Was it Mark Zuckerberg?
Maybe.
Maybe those tech guys, right?
Yeah, everyone wants to code now. Everyone wants,
Yeah.
But it's, and I've noticed like they're all friendly, and like they're all trying to start. Like I'm the antisocial one, I feel like half the time, because I just want to go home. When I was working at Raytheon, people would be inviting me, hey, do you want to go work out in the fitness center? Be like, nah, I'm gonna work out. I work at World. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
I get invited to barbecues after work, and I'm like, I've been here for like 9 hours already. I kind of want to go home.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
I got a question, right? This is actually like kind of like piques my interest a little bit. So backtracking what you said about like software, like always learning and everything like that. Now that AI is like making a huge huge wave. So obviously, so you said you love AI. You must use it on a daily. Do you use it on a daily basis? And if so, what's like the what? So what do you do? What do you use AI for?
So, like for example, my company, they have like their own ChatGPT version. Like,
oh no shit.
Yeah, most
I love
companies,
ChatGPT.
Yeah, so most companies have it, but I use it more like I write down. So I write everything like in meetings. I write down a bunch of like minutes, like notes.
Yep.
Like I jog down like points really quick, like not real sentences, just
like little
4 or 5 words, and
yeah.
I just keep going down, and then I copy it, paste it into the company's ChatGPT thing, and I say, organize this, like rewrite this, and it gives it to me beautifully, and I just save the file as is, and now I have like.
You don't tweak it or anything like that.
Oh no, I don't. If I was gonna send it out, yeah, but it's more for me. I reread it to make sure it all makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's more like, so in a month from now, I'm not gonna remember why these 3 or 4 words are in that order.
Yeah. So, how how much has AI like changed like your day to day like work?
It just saves me time.
That's a big thing, right?
Yeah, it's
It just
just
saves
time.
you a bunch of time.
So like even like little things like writing emails.
Yep.
So like I go people's calendars and I like, so in most professional jobs, I'm sure you see it too. Like everyone has a calendar.
Yep.
So when you try to set a meeting to find people's open slots, I type down all these like openings that I see for people, and I put, I ask the assistant like, hey, find a common slot for everybody.
Yeah.
And it does it, and then I say, write an email. Subject's gonna be this for the meeting, and gives you a quick email. I read it, put in my own words a little bit to make it sound less formal.
Yeah.
Not to who this may concern.
No, I always
change that part. Hey guys.
I always when we I won't say it, but I won't let out the secrets. But when I send out emails, I always have to like say like, oh hey, like send out this email with this subject, but make it sound cool. Make it sound like a human. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes like they'll say some weird ass shit. Like,
I'll have to try that. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, dude, honestly, it works. Like, say like it's for the male audience, for between like fucking. Because I always have to remember, like, all right, the person I'm sending this email to, all right, they're female, they're in their fucking 30s. Okay, let's make it sound like it's for a female in their 30s. Okay.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Menopause.
No.
Anyways.
Yeah. My.
But
no, yeah, I really do feel like they should make like private accounts for everybody and have AI learn you. I know it sounds crazy.
That is crazy, Pat.
But,
all right, hang on,
no,
wait. This isn't iRobot with Will Smith, okay?
No, but like if it learns who you are, it's gonna learn how you like things.
Yeah, but then it's gonna fucking, if it starts to learn who you are, it's gonna turn into you. Imagine having a robot you out there.
That'd be great.
No, that would suck.
I love
That's
myself.
what a child is, right?
Yeah, it's like I kind of want to. I would love to talk to myself. I tell my wife all the time like how lucky she is. Like she has to talk to me on a daily
babe.
basis.
You sound like Donald. Like, babe, you are extremely lucky to have a lucky man like me. But no, dude, that's crazy. Because I wouldn't want. No, fuck that. I wouldn't want like a robot. Like,
would you argue with yourself?
no, because I know I would lose. I would lose that argument. I like 90% of the time, my arguments usually end with me saying, "I'm sorry, I love you," and that's it. But like, I would
That's
hate
your
that.
husband.
Yeah, no shit.
You've been trained well.
Yeah. That's husband mentality training right there. But dude, AI is kind of scary for me because I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I feel like one day AI is just gonna kind of get a little bit too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you fear that or not really? Or not fear it, but do you think like?
I mean, it takes one bomb to get off a grid, and then bam, AI's gone. That's how I look at it. It's like it's easy to destroy AI. If it has one brain, one power source, like
Where's that power source? We need to find it.
Well,
right
no,
now.
I'm saying-
we need to find that power source.
I'm just
right
saying,
now.
like, if we got rid of all the electricity around us, how's AI going to communicate with it? You know what I mean?
Dude,
so
I feel like AI is gonna find a way. You know
I mean, the only that would probably be scary is like, I guess, a theory that I think what the conspiracy theorists think is like AI is going to think one day the best thing for the world is to get rid of humans, so it's just going to send a bunch of nuclear bombs out and destroy the world. That's what I think. But a lot of these equipment are off the servers. Like they're not connected to the internet because they don't want anyone to ever be able to hack it. So a lot of like the things that people are really scared of, like AI taking over, AI can't ever reach it because it really is off the grid.
You know what's kind of scary too, man? I don't want to. We can obviously go into a real rabbit hole with this, but Elon Musk with the whole Neuralink thing, like literally like transplanting that into people's brains. Because the whole idea about electrical, and you can tell me better than I can tell people, whatever. But electrical, there's hardware to it, right? It can almost becomes wetware when it's like in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if you have these little people who are like robots out there, like I don't know, it gets to a place where you're like, I don't know, man. Is there power sources anymore? Or is it just the people?
I would never do that because one, I saw this study a long time ago, where it's like people don't actually have free will. So like your brain knows what it's gonna do before you even do it. Like they ask people questions, and the part of the brain that makes a decision was already done working when people were trying to figure it out still. So it means like their brain already knows what the answer is, and it's just leading the person to like figure that out. So I'm like, imagine if that Neuralink kind of like does the job of that part of the brain, and you're over here trying to figure out what the Neuralink wants you to think versus what you actually think. Yeah. So that is scary. That
That shit's wild, dude. Did you always think like this? Like, did this like lead you into wanting to be an engineer? Like, how did you when did you know you wanted to go into electronics and engineering? Like, were you like
I just wanted to. So when I was in elementary school, I signed up for Diamond, And I
Oh
told
wow!
yeah.
So you were that young? Holy
That
shit,
young.
dude!
Yeah, so I was like, I want to deal with like honestly, I told my mom like, I want to work with robots,
Wow.
underwater stuff.
Like as a kid in
As a-
elementary school, you're
yeah.
already thinking like this.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I also
What
have,
kind of
like,
toys did you play with?
Legos.
Legos that you were one of. All right, all right.
I was always building stuff with Legos. I was
Yo,
always,
what kind how was your grammar in high school too, guy? Apparently, you're like, mommy, I want to go to Diamond.
no,
Like, yo, bro.
Mother.
no, it was
Mother
like,
dearest.
I went to private school, so by 6th grade, they already had us think about high school and like
Yeah.
what kind of school you want to go to and everything. And it was tough because we all thought I was gonna go to Durfee because I live right across the street from Durfee.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I really wanted to work into computers. I wanted to learn a lot more than Diamond had for me though.
Yeah.
We did a lot of like circuiting and like breadboarding. I thought I was gonna be building more computers and like coding,
Yeah.
you know, but it was great because when you go to engineering, when you go from a trade school like Diamond to BCC and in engineering, a lot of those credits in school can actually be used to get you out of the basic classes.
Oh, no shit.
So I think I got like 9 credits worth completed from Diamond.
Wow.
You know, like so there's like entry level electronics 1 and 2, and then tech writing stuff. I was able to just like
Bypass
You
it.
bypass it like because of Diamond.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your experience like in Diamond? Because we've had a lot of guys on the podcast, more sort of in the plumbing world. You know, guys from RCL or whatever, guys who took plumbing up as a trade. We haven't really had anyone in electronics who then went the
Yeah.
sort of.
So-
I guess I don't know if it's academic route, but like
Yeah.
engineering. Like engineers work with their hands, but
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
so-
What was Diamond like for you?
When I was in Diamond, it definitely prepared me more to be a tech worker. I feel like solder, like someone who just solders and stuff, and like kind of like a breadboard monkey, you know. But now it looks like they're teaching kids coding because I see it all the time on their webpage. Like the kids, I see them, they're actually building the ROVs and stuff. Like I learned a lot more from the robotics club than I did from my trade.
Yeah.
You know, it was in Diamond. I don't know if you guys knew that we have a robotics club that.
I did remember. Honestly, Pat, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm too. I'm also like 2 beers in. When every single time when I saw the electronics, I thought 2 things. Wow, these guys are really smart, and wow, these guys are really fucking nerds. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
the nerds now, they're probably making like 10 times more than me.
So that's
Did you explore electronics?
I did not.
No.
I didn't. That
So-
was the one job I kind of wish I did, but I'm glad I didn't.
you guys got lucky. You got to see the nerds. When I went there,
You were the nerd. No, I'm kidding.
no, when I went there, it was like the shop that no one wanted. So
Like
it was-
facilities management.
yeah, they actually put me there by accident. They messed up on my I had great grades during exploratory. I had like all 90s plus.
Yeah.
Right, so I should have had my pick a choice. Yeah, and they put me in facilities management, and I'm like I'm going to Durfee. So I came here for one reason.
Yeah.
So I was getting ready to get expelled. Like I was already messing around. I got kicked out of shop my first day having a sword fight with a stick. You know, I'm like I'm over the school already. I've been here for 6 months. I had one purpose, and I somehow
You guys
failed.
ruined that purpose.
I somehow failed. And they tell you, they made a big deal, like, don't try to leave your shop for at least 6 months. They tell you, like, just deal, you know, sit through it and persevere. And then if you don't like it after 6 months, then we'll think about it. I'm leaving Mr. Albin's office. I just get out of shop. He's sending me back because it's like a first day, you know. And I told him, like, I don't plan on being here. Like, I'm going to talk to my mom after I get home. I'm leaving. And as I'm walking by the shop, I walk by electronics. It's, you know, it's in that hallway.
Yep.
And I see the shop teacher. I'm like, I'm just gonna go in there. Like, I don't even care anymore. I walk in there, and it's like 4 empty seats. I'm like, is this class full? And he's like, nah. I was like, I put this down as my first choice. I didn't get it. There was like 3 other kids who had that as their first choice. No one even picked it because nobody wanted to go there. And,
Yeah.
he's like, that doesn't sound right. You should have been here. If you picked it in your top 5, you should have been able to get it into here.
Yeah.
And he went to Mr. Albin's office, and mistake in the system. And second day, I was in electronics.
Yo, I actually, so when I was in Diamond, I did the exploratory. I got the same thing, 90s all around for
Yeah.
all my shops. I only explored 8 shops, though, because I think that's how it was.
I think it was 6 for us.
Yeah, it was 8 for me. And then now, the kids nowadays, they explore like all of them. And so they explore. But it's like weird because they only have like 2-3 days with the shop. So, but I remember I picked culinary arts as my first choice. Cool. But then I got into carpentry because culinary was full. So I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm doing carpentry. And I'm like, bro, I cannot cut a piece of wood to save my life right now. Now I can, like, because it's all power tools. But now, but like before, they were like, oh, you got to make this. Like, how is this teaching me carpentry? Like, tell me how to read the tape measure. Tell me how to like properly, like mark wood and everything like that. Like, show me how to make studs. You know what I mean? Because like, it's crazy to think like, before my brain turned into like all like blue collar, like trades, blue collar. I was just solely like into cooking. So like, I remember the last day I was in carpentry. I got my approval for transfer because somebody just dropped out, and so they gave me it. But the problem was the carpentry teacher at the time. I think his name was Mr. Arujo. He gave me one of the fucking In-N-Out burger hats, like the paper ones. And he's like, "You gotta wear this all day, or I'm not signing your fucking transfer approval." I'm like, "You motherfucker, you bitch!" So literally, I'm embarrassing myself in front of all these people, and I'm like, "Hey, if this is what I gotta do to get the fuck out of this shop, I'm gonna do it. I don't give a fuck."
How long did it take you though to get out of like carpentry?
I think it was 2 months.
Yeah, it was so annoying. Like, I'm so glad I had to wait. Like, because if I had to deal with 2 months of facilities management, like, I wouldn't have. But that's the thing though. You got to be your own advocate at the end of the day. Like.
And also, you did the engineering motto, which is you just problem solved it. You're like, hold on a second. What if I just walk by the shop and look inside of it?
Yeah.
It's full. It's full. No, well, I'm just gonna walk by.
Yeah.
4 empty seats. Seems suspicious.
Yeah. I walked right in like I belonged there.
Yeah.
I walked right. I didn't look in the shop. I walked in there. I'm like, I was thinking about like, I might just sit down. Pretend like I belong here.
That's funny shit, dude.
Fucking roll call at facilities manager. Patrick Chaves, empty crickets, bro. And they're like, "Hi, who are you?" Patrick Chaves.
and it was so awkward. It was Mr. Lima, the facility manager. So like, I just got kicked out of shop. So he was pretty mad first day, and he felt like this kid's gonna be a problem for me. I walk in there with my shirt in hand already, but like I'm going electronics. He's probably so happy. Like,
thank God.
Thank God.
That's I try to go back to Diamond once in a while now. Because they have that restaurant, Room 251.
Yeah, and I made a promise I would never go back.
Why's that? Hang on, why? Because of the facilities manager thing? Is that what it is?
No, I don't want to badmouth anybody.
All right.
Bad mouth.
Don't name drop.
All right, I don't like teachers.
Okay.
I don't like teachers. I think teachers are people who, if you can't, you teach. If you can't do it, you teach.
That's a hot take.
Well, what is that, a quote from A School of Rock, isn't it? If you can't teach, you If you can't do, you teach. If you can't teach, you teach gym, right?
And the reason why I say that is like a lot of teachers that I saw were too young to be teachers. And,
yes.
And Diamond, and see, when you were there, they're already there for a few years. When my first year was their first year teaching,
yeah,
and they were all 22, 23.
They think like,
and they were all kind of, little smart asses. You know?
Yeah.
And they were kind of like bullies. Like, for example, I'm not gonna throw names out there, but I didn't care for history. I thought history was a waste of time for me, and especially when you put on Band of Brothers for a whole week.
I know who that is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna show up to class. I'm not gonna.
who that is.
I'm
whisper it, man.
I'll tell you after.
I'm gonna sit in the locker room for an hour, and then I'll show up 2 minutes before class ends, get my late slip, and go to the office, Mr. Flam, have her sign it, get my detention, not show up, do my Saturday school. Like, I got this down. Like, there's only so many Saturdays they can give you before they run out of Saturdays.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, I used to do the same shit. Well, not really. No, because I'm thinking about the locker room shit. I used to do like 3 sports all the time, so I always had a locker no matter what, and it was the same locker from like junior to senior year. I remember I did never use the normal school locker that they gave you because it was so small, and you also had to share it with somebody too. Like they had a bottom and then a top. So if I'm like
I didn't have those. Mine was full.
Yeah, no, they had the ones where like it was like 2 small lockers and then boom like shoe boxes on top.
Yeah.
And so like I used to like there was this kid that always used to like be the locker right next to me, and like all the time I could not get into my locker. And one day my lock did not work, so I'm like, fuck this, I'm done. And I went to go use the fucking gymnasium locker room. And I remember I used to be late to class all the time and shit like that because I'm like, my lock wasn't working.
Yeah,
so
I got in trouble. My name was always getting called because I made my locker the community locker. I had it was prime location. You know what Olga was? My locker was right there. So it was right in the center of every class. You could not be late. And all my friends in here, so I'm like, yeah, just use my locker. Hey, everyone had their jackets in my locker. My locker never closed. So like, I would always get a call like, you need to clean out your locker. I'm like, well, that's a problem because none of that stuff's mine.
They must have been like, what the fuck?
What do you mean?
Yeah. So like you see announcements like at one point they said if you use locker, they said the code, and no one showed up. Like if you use Patrick Chaves' locker, please, 3 kids show up.
Like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the thing with lockers, right? Because like when you're a freshman, before you had a shop, you had a locker somewhere. But then when you got a shop, you got a locker next to your shop.
Yeah.
And my shop was automotive, so it was on the other fucking end of the world, bro.
Yeah,
so that was a pain in the goddamn ball sack to go there. I wouldn't even, dude. I had like this big ass backpack with all my shit in it because there was no way I was gonna make it to my locker and then back to any of my classes.
That's the fucking issue, though. Like like. I'm trying to think. I remember in the A wing next to the gymnasium, there was a calculus class over there. I forgot the guy who taught it.
Mr. Weymouth.
Yeah, shout out to Weymouth. He was actually a really good teacher.
He was.
And then
Good guy.
good guy, local guy. But my locker would be all the way in D wing, and so like, yo, that's a hike.
Yeah, Mr. Matt, plumbing.
Yeah. Like fucking D wing, and then fucking just and like Weymouth hated like people being late.
Mm-hmm.
He was like so adamant about it. So like, bro, I would just like, you would see me doing the Naruto run, like.
Nothing got me more mad is like, I had Mr. Matos in D wing, and I never forget how many times I'm walking up. I'm like probably from here to where Alex is, and the bell just rings, and he would stop me.
Yep. He did the same shit. I had Matt. It was my senior year. He did the same shit with me.
I probably got so many detentions because of that, and I'm like, I'm coming literally from the other side of like the
have
building.
a heart.
Like we have 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I didn't stop at my locker. My books are all my backpack, so I can make it for the specific. Like if it was like B day, I would know like the day, but I need to have these books together.
And to be fair, he's a math teacher, so he should be able to like do the math and be like, well, I don't know if this is feasible.
Yeah.
If Patrick is on one side of the building and he's running.
Knowing Matos, he probably is already doing that fucking that.
I think
thing in his
he
head.
just didn't like me. Him and that history teacher I mentioned earlier, they were buddies, the two of them.
Oh man, I'm gonna try to figure out who it is. Because my brain, like when you were saying like the history teacher, my brain was like, like fucking working in overtime. But so you wouldn't go back, but do you appreciate what Diamond did, like in terms of like the
I mean,
shops? Yeah. Do you think like vocational schools is the way to go?
Oh yeah, if you
want to do that,
if you want to
route.
I think every school is like that. What I mentioned, like what I don't like about Diamond, I think it's common with every school. I feel a lot of teachers are very immature. I mean, you see a lot of the teachers nowadays are dating the students. Like you see it. I mean, I told you, when I started there, these teachers were all 22.
Let him cook.
Let him
cook.
3 girls from my class are now married to teachers from Diamond.
I think I already know one of them too.
Oh, that's not a good look, Diamond. That's not a good look.
And
we're trying to get the principal, Mr. Rebello, on, so just don't listen to this part, Mr. Rebello. or change your policies there. I don't know.
Or just have like a little, maybe a few older teachers would help. I get you want them to relate to the students, but maybe they're relating a bit too much. Yeah, they had too much common interest.
Yeah, Yeah.
They both hate their parents.
Dude, that's scary to think. Like fucking like, because I've seen on my my Facebook timeline like a few like people like from your class and your class. They're now dating like fucking former teachers of mine, and it's like the weirdest fucking thing. I'm like, what the fuck? Do you not like broaden your search a little bit? Like, don't go after like the fucking people you teach. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, especially because you have like it's just it's boundaries.
It's also weird too, man, because like I work at a school now, and like granted I don't work as a teacher, but like you see all the students, and it's like I think being like sort of seeing yourself in the light of like an administrator or someone who works for the school, you see kids in, at least I do, I see kids in a different light. They're like my family members or my cousins or even like my daughters. Like it's kind of weird to think of them in a manner that's...
I think you're a normal, healthy adult. Because no, I'm not trying to be mean, but like I live near a school. I live across the street from a school. I bought a house like right next to Durfee, and I drive by students all the time, like kids, and these kids they dress raunchy. Like they dress like. I remember seeing one girl leave Durfee with a bikini top and like just like those jean shorts but opened up, and I'm like I was worried for her. I was like I kind of want to see like is she gonna go to see her dad right now? I went to talk to her dad. Like this isn't.
That's a new fashion. That's a new fashion trend.
Is it?
Yeah, like fucking the jeans, but you open it up.
It was cringe.
And just on the note of fashion trends, have you guys seen like the stuff where they put like stickers on their face? Have you guys seen that? Like where girls like put stickers,
No, I
like
haven't seen
star
that
stickers,
yet.
like on their face?
What is this, fucking 90s? What the hell?
I've never seen.
I've never seen those.
No?
I haven't seen that.
I've seen the girls paint their faces like like it's just like completely different colors.
Yeah.
Like blue, purples, like
Magenta.
magentas.
I haven't seen that either, but I've seen a lot of that where it's like fucking the jeans just opened up, and it's like, bro, like what the fuck are you doing? Like you forget? Like
Yeah.
were you in a rush or something? Like put your pants up.
That's one of the things I do like about working at like a private Catholic school is like we have uniforms, and
Yeah.
for the most part, the kids have to abide by it. It's
Yeah.
like khakis or
Get the fuck out.
or skirts or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
like there's a certain length, and we're
Yeah.
like on top of it. But it's like I feel like in a school and a learning environment, it's like it's not about sexuality. Like obviously, I get it. You guys are teenagers full of hormones. You're gonna talk to pretty girls and talk to pretty guys or whatever. But it's like there has to be some sort of separation there.
Yeah.
I'm getting on my soapbox a little bit, but
Yeah, no, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
high school is just like a fucking real life Tinder when you really think about it, dude.
And I never forget like teachers arguing in front of us. And I remember one teacher was having an affair with another teacher's wife. And I remember a teacher saying across the hallway, "Hey, she keeps calling me." And everyone knew what he was referring to because there was already rumors going around. And everyone just stopped. And the teacher's face like just dropped and walked away. And then you see some teachers dating another teacher, like teachers dating each other.
yeah.
And then I graduated and I found out, I wonder if they're still together. I go on Facebook and she's just dating another teacher. And it's just like, that's an awkward work environment, but
they say don't shit what you eat, you
yeah.
know?
But again, I think teachers kind of maybe become high schoolers again.
They have that mentality.
Yeah, they
Because
go.
hang on. Before I say some really out of pocket shit, I won't say I'm guilty for it. However, when me and Alex coached soccer back in the day, when we were like around the young high school kids, like the young high school guys, I felt like I could relate to them because I was in my early 20s and they were like almost graduating high school, so they're like 17, 18. So I didn't draw the line of like coach and then friend. I just thought like, oh hey, like fucking all these guys like me, blah blah blah. But then 2 years after doing the coaching thing, my final year of coaching, I made sure like, listen, we're not friends. Like respectfully, we're not friends. Like if you ever need help, I'm here, but
Yeah.
respectfully, I'm not friends because you can get into a lot of trouble. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that was one of my biggest learning curves was that like try not to be friends with these guys. Like just be their coach and that's it.
Yeah, like I feel like if teachers were more just nurturing, it'd be one thing, like a parent-like figure. But these teachers really tried being our friends. They tried gossiping with us. And it seemed cool when you were doing it with them. But now looking back, I'm like, if a teenager tried gossiping with me, I couldn't even pretend to be interested.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys. As I get older, I'm dazing out a lot. So like people be talking to me, and if I have no interest, I can't help it, but I just blink. And then at the end of the conversation, when they stop talking, I'm like, yeah. And then my wife would be like, oh, what'd you guys talk about? I'm like, honestly, I was just thinking about our kitchen and how I'm gonna get the backsplash off the wall. I have no idea what we just said, but I agreed with it. So like, if whatever I agree to, don't hold it against me. Like, and I'm starting to realize I'm thinking people are noticing it, because even like text messages, I reply to the last sentence, because we're in so many group chats that I read the last chat and I try to like bounce off that. I'm not gonna read the ones before it. And I'm not making sense. I can tell people like, what do you mean? I'm like, all right, I have to read 2 or 3 more up now.
Oh man. Hey, do you have any like pets?
I have a Portuguese water dog.
Oh shit.
When I saw you have a golden doodle, right?
Yeah. No, golden retriever.
Golden retriever. I was
Yeah,
saying we
but-
should have a dog day.
Yeah, but let's have a dog day.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Our wives meet and shit,
Yeah.
and then they talk about babies.
Yeah, yeah,
And
but-
then fuck, I'm gonna have a baby.
I have a backyard, so it's chained.
Oh, nice.
Fenced in. It's fenced in. So if
Damn,
you want,
Pat.
you
Yeah,
can
send
come
me,
over.
Send me the Addy.
Yeah.
Send me the Addy.
Yeah.
As the kids nowadays, send me the Addy. Patrick, one of your best projects that you've worked on so far, that you've at least like contributed to,
Like engineering.
engineering wise, yeah.
Honestly, my
Oh, your favorite, yeah.
there's not many I can talk about, obviously. Zoom wall, so a destroyer. Yeah.
Oh,
A ship destroyer.
Oh, like a
destroyer.
battleship?
Like a battleship, yeah.
Oh,
like a
shit.
destroyer.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
That's a badass name too. Just
Zumwalt.
Destroyer is
Destroyer.
such a
Well, no,
crazy name.
that's the type of ship it is. It's its name is Zumwalt. Yeah, there's
Zumwalt.
three of them.
Oh.
Very unique looking ship. I worked in the combat systems of it.
Oh.
Yeah, but this thing, the way it's built, if any other ship would try to catch it on radar, it looks like a little sailboat, but it's the size of like a football field.
Damn.
Yeah, it's huge.
Dude, that's intense. Were you on it?
Oh yeah, every time I went on it, I would forget. Like once you're inside, I forget I'm on a boat. It's so big that you forget you're in a boat. Like, because it's like 3 or 4 floors. I think like.
Is it like a cruise ship?
It feels no, it's not as big as a cruise ship.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you forget you're on a boat, and it's like you come out and you're like, oh wow, yeah, I forgot I was on the, you know.
Oh, hey,
I was on a port.
civilization.
Yeah, I'm on a port right now. You know. But yeah, the reason why I liked it though was just because it was so many moving parts. It's an ongoing project, so it's always changing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it's like
So job security is the key
job
thing.
security, and I understand it so well. I got to the point where I knew it so well, where whenever a change happened, I notice it, and I'm like, oh, this why?
These are gonna happen.
Yeah, it just became my baby.
Damn.
You know, but that was from Raytheon. I'm no longer working on that.
Yeah. Dude, that's pretty cool. Fucking, I've always wanted to be on like a live like warship.
Hell yeah.
I always wanted to shoot one of the fucking guns.
yeah.
So, like,
It's funny, bro. We live in Fall River, but like I've never actually been on the battleship.
No?
Like, have you guys been on it?
I have.
I go on it for events.
Yeah.
Like actually, I'll show you pictures afterwards. Me and my wife went and did a murder mystery on Battleship.
Okay.
And we actually won the whole thing. It was like hundreds of people, and me and her actually won.
What was the price?
Just a picture and like.
Wow, what a
Yeah.
shitty ad! Like I would have
Yeah.
been like,
It
I would
was-
need to see the price for it because
No.
I hate shows like that or like events like that where it's like, oh hey, join us for blah blah blah, and it's like, all right, what's the price?
So,
like I need to know
yeah.
the
I'm
price.
not winning a PlayStation 5.
That's a really fun day. I recommend you doing that with your wife. So it's like
She's actually into like murder mysteries
so
and shit like that.
so they do it all everywhere. Whites does it every once in a while.
Yeah.
But so they hire actors. There's real actors. And
It's like real life Clue.
yeah.
Yeah, that's all
So
it
is.
so like you walk around and you just like listen to people's stories. You ask questions, and they're in their character. So like they answer the questions just enough to make you have doubt, but like, and I remember talking. They give you like little subtle cues. Like one of the cues I got with the captain was he would never make eye contact with me, and he was always like staring up to space, and like he would talk and answer all your questions, but he would always look like he was in a daze. So I went up to my wife and I'm like, hey, is there any way that he could be like hypnotized or in a trance? And because it just seems like he's the odd of it. I'm not sure if he's just a bad actor or like. And she was like, actually, I was talking to this woman, another actor, and there's like an archaeologist there who was looking into like this medallion that can control people's minds. I'm like, and they didn't tell you it was just like a fantasy murder mystery, right? So they made it seem like it was just a murder. Someone just died. So I'm like, hey, maybe we should stop looking at this like in a real world aspect and start looking at this like in a fantasy, kind of like a made
See,
up.
that's the engineering mind right there,
Right.
bro. Because
Hey.
my dumb ass would have never thought of this.
Hey, there was like
I would have been like, he's just drunk, dude.
there were hundreds of people. I guess like 60 people submitted their answers because you have to get all of them right. Like where, how, what weapon was used. It was like 4 or 5 things.
Yeah.
And we're the only ones that got all 5 of them right. And so I went up to the lady and I'm like, all right, this is it, but I'm not 100% sure. And she's like, I think you're the first one. She's like, stick around. I think you're the first one. And I'm like, all right. Hey, at the end, she's like, we only have one winner. and the battleship was like full of people.
Damn.
And yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we dressed for so it was like 1950s theme.
So you dress up.
So we dressed up 1950s attire. My wife had the bow and the polka dot dress. I had like a old fashioned suit.
That's cute.
You know, yeah. So we got into it, and a lot of people really got into it too. A lot of cool outfits.
Does it get competitive or not really?
We didn't get competitive. We were just having fun. Like,
But no, Pat, you're evading the question.
no. We can
Like,
tell,
did it get competitive?
Was
like,
there fist fights on the
yeah.
no. But so there wasn't a lot of places to sit on Battleship, right?
Yep.
So if you sat down at a table, people got quiet. Like you think they're trying to steal their answers or something. You know, like this
Like,
is.
this is serious shit now.
If you don't win it, then there's no real prize. You know.
Like,
I've
if
seen
there
it-
was like gift cards
Yeah.
or like a money prize, I'd be interested in it. But the fact that it's just a photo of the fucking actors,
Yeah.
get fucked. Like, I don't want that shit. Give me a gift card to fucking Barrett's Ale House and that's it.
Yeah.
I fucking love Barrett's Ale.
I know. We felt bad too because they invited us to go to Barrett's actually because it's right down. Right?
Oh, yeah, it's right down the street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like, oh, we're gonna go there. You know, it'd be nice to have the winner show up. And we're like, yeah, we'll be there. We got in the car, and we're old people already. We're just like, I'm tired. You ready to go home? She's like, we said we are gonna be there. I'm like, yeah, we said that, but we're never gonna see these people again.
Hey, yo, I think the same way too, bro.
And we went home and we didn't regret it. We never regretted it.
Yo, that's the cool thing about me and my wife now. It's like fucking before, like, oh man, we should really go to this event. You know, so and so's going. We get there. Fuck, we made a horrible decision coming in. And I'm like, hey, babe, like before we go out, I'm like, hey, do we really need to go? Do we really need to? I'll try to talk her out of it, but sometimes it doesn't work. But I'm like, do we really need to go?
Yeah. I'm all about the vibe. You know, I'm like, I tell her, like, we have to make an appearance, be polite.
Yeah.
Because we talk about, like, we really don't want to go. And I'm like, now having a kid is it's the best.
The best excuse, right?
It's like, he's not feeling well. we don't want to risk getting anyone sick, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I always tell her, let's read the vibe. We're going to get there. If the vibe's not good, something came up, and we just got to go.
That's it.
And we don't say bye to anybody. We
Yeah,
just,
You just leave, right?
What do they call Irish goodbye or whatever?
Yeah.
When you just
Irish
bounce.
goodbye.
I go straight to the host. I'm like, hey, something really came up. We got to go. You know, I give him a
That's
little dap. He's the only one I talk to, or she, you know, like,
Yeah.
we just bounce.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I've been in that situation before. Where
Avoid
it's
eye contact people as you leave, you know,
like,
like,
excuse me.
we'll be right back.
That's what I do too. It's like fucking if the vibe's not right, if the body's not feeling good,
Yeah.
like because I'm at sometimes at my parties. Don't get me wrong. Like some of the parties I always go to, it always has happy dads. So that's why I always say because I do enjoy happy dads.
If you notice, I don't have the fucking hat on today.
But I had happy dad the other day. It was great flavor, horrible. The fucking Death Row records. You don't drink like
I
that.
haven't had a beer in like probably 3 or 4 years.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's good shit, all right?
Yeah.
Because I'm having 2 right now. I'll drink for you.
It just didn't make sense. Like, you know, it's just toxic.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I want to tell myself that, like, stop drinking, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't stop.
Yeah.
I don't have, I'm not an alcoholic or
well,
anything.
you
like that.
enjoy. No,
I enjoy the taste.
exactly. You're not trying to get drunk.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
That's different.
Pat, I am way too old to get drunk, okay? Way too old. If this was me at, like, 21,
Yeah.
like, serve me, like, unlimited Jack and Cokes.
Yeah.
But now, I'm sophisticated, okay? I drink High Noons and Bud Light. That's it.
The last time, the only reason why I drank was at a family wedding.
Yep.
Peer pressure.
And it was.
Was it the toast?
No.
Oh.
It was my in-laws were getting married, and I was meeting like a whole side of the family that I never met before.
Ooh.
So like, they were so excited to meet me, and they were like, "I got you a shot." And
fuck.
And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'll take a shot with you." And then another uncle shows up out of nowhere. "Oh, you're Patrick." He's like, "Come on, let me get you a shot."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, I don't really drink." "Oh, come on, one shot won't hurt." In my head, I'm like, I already had 2 already. You know, like I don't drink, so I have no tolerance. You know, and I didn't buy one drink that whole night, but I ended up being hammered by like 9 o'clock.
Damn.
My wife had to drive me home because I told her, I was like, I'm not feeling good. I don't like being drunk in public. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's awkward.
yeah.
What kind of drunk are you, though?
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never seen Patrick drunk. I've seen you.
So
Yeah.
I'm a friend.
I've seen
I'm a
you
friendly
for
drunk.
sure.
I'm very,
What kind of drunk am I? But if Patrick's a friendly drunk, what am I?
You're like on the floor of a fucking elevator drunk.
Nah, I gotta show you the photo.
Yeah.
I gotta show you the photo of that.
What happens in Miami stays in Miami too. I'll go.
Dude, I remember.
Patrick can know. Patrick. Can
Yeah. You were there. Yeah, it was your first night there. And
Story time.
bro, so we're in Miami for my bachelor trip, and Alex just flew in because he had to show up a day late because of work. So he just flew in straight all the way from Miami International, goes right into the Airbnb. Everybody's like, it's like what 8, 9, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like 8, 9 o'clock. Some of the guys already go to bed. I'm like, you fuckers, like, what the fuck's going on? I was literally ready to like fucking like pull out another loan so I could just absolutely just go hammered, fucking just drink until I collapse.
cool question. You took a loan out for your vacation?
No, I didn't. I thought about it.
No, because let's say I guess that's a Gen Z millennial thing. A lot of people take out loans
for vacation.
And I'm like, man, I thought vacations were earned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like you earn a vacation by making money. You know, so that's what I was gonna ask.
No. I would never do that. Because I'm.
He grew up in a Portuguese household. That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, money's sacred,
That's
all
not
right?
what it is.
Money's fucking sacred around here. But so Alex just flew in. Some of the guys are already like in bed at like 9 o'clock. We're in Miami, all right? So fucking Miami's like fucking. It doesn't sleep. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
South Beach, Miami, on the fucking strip to be specific.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like we literally like as soon as you leave the Airbnb, the beach was right there. Like I could just cross the street and just be at the beach. If I wanted.
That's a party spot. You wouldn't bring your family there, or?
Well, I mean, where we were, there was like our Airbnb to the right bar club, to the left bar club,
Yeah.
restaurant bar club. It's the whole strip.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, it's pretty. Like it's a beautiful place.
it
It's a
is.
beautiful place to visit, but
Yeah.
it's more so like you go to Miami. It's almost like a Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that sort of
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, fucking. women everywhere, you know, bars everywhere. So if you want to do a family vacation, I say Fort Lauderdale. Fort
Yeah.
Lauderdale is very nice.
My wife always wanted to go to Florida. We've
Yeah,
never gone.
Fort Lauderdale is nice.
Or if I can make a recommendation, because you have a little one, Orlando, specifically Disney World.
Yeah.
Disney. I was gonna say that too. Disney World will be huge for you guys.
And if you go itinerary, I got you. I worked there for 6 months, and I know the whole
I
place.
still tell everyone about that. Every time anyone mentions Disney, I'm like, "Want me to reach out to my friend Alex? See what he can recommend?" You know, like
Oh, I didn't know. Like you could still get like.
no, but he just knows everything about
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah. Hey.
You worked in the hotel, right?
Yeah.
I was supposed to go. My wife keeps on talking about Disney. She was like, "I want to go to Disney before I have a kid." I'm like, all right.
Before you have a kid?
Yeah.
That's like a place you bring a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, she wants to enjoy it as
She wants to enjoy it
Gotcha.
as an adult
Gotcha. I
before
respect
having a
that.
kid because, like, when you really think about it, you need a vacation from a vacation sometimes, especially like watching kids.
I always take when I take a vacation, it's always like 10 days. It's like the vacation would be like 8 days, but when I get home, I need a day or two just
Yep.
to decompress.
Same thing. Like I have my vacation coming up. It's 2 weeks. I'm
Nice.
taking an extra few days. One for jet lag because
Yeah.
fucking the jet lag's gonna be serious, and then 2 because I need to recuperate. You know what I mean? So, but going back to Miami, I remember Alex like just casually walked in. He's like, "Hey guys," I'm like. I'm already like 3 high noons in, so I'm like kind of like a little bit buzzed, and like I'm like like fucking all
Yeah.
happy and shit. I give him like the big ass bear hug, just lift him up like a fucking little fucking peasant dude. So I get there, I'm like, yo, like let's go, like let's just. And I'm like, Alex, like, you know, no offense to the other guys, but I'm like, yo, dude, like it's my fucking bachelor party, like let's fucking go out and drink. So Alex like, fuck it, let's go, like in his streetwear. Everything like that. Then we go out. We went to 4 different places, I think. 3 or 4 different places, and I don't remember a damn thing. I don't remember a damn thing. I remember we were at Club Mango or Tango. I think Mango something.
Yeah.
Really cool spot. Fucking I had like 4 shots of big ass margarita.
Bro, do you remember who we seen when we pulled into that mango spot?
No.
Bro, I wasn't hammered yet. When we pulled in, I see some guy with like a bald head singing like a Pitbull song. I'm like, is that fucking Pitbull on the stage right now? It wasn't Pitbull. I got excited. I kind of ruined the story already.
Like, it was Pitbull. It was fucking Pitbull.
You said you know who we saw. I'm like, you saw Pitbull.
I saw Pitbull. That's what I told my wife. I'm like,
worldwide.
I told my wife, I'm like, yeah, I saw Pitbull. I watched him at the club. She was like, oh, you did? I'm like, yeah, look. And I took like the pic of the Snapchat. Like, but I remember that was the last stop. Club Tangos, Mangoes, whatever they were. Great club.
Yeah.
Great club. Drinks were flowing. You know, there was women everywhere. And I remember, I'm like, this girl was like handing out like shots. And like these, you remember that?
Yeah.
And these like little cute shot glasses that like fucking like LEDs. So my buddy Brandon at the time, he was like, how much? And he's like, they're like, oh yeah, card, and like didn't speak a lick of English, right? So I have no idea what the fuck's in this drink. I could have been laced like with fucking like, you know, roofies or something like that, like something. But I remember taking it. Mind you, the 2 other shots that I had, the margarita and the fucking Jameson ginger that I had, I was already fucking mixing drinks. I'm like bad news bears. And I remember I was carried. The Airbnb wasn't too far though. It was like a block away. So I'm like, I can make it. I was carried into the Airbnb, and I think it was Brandon. Mind you, I'm the biggest guy there. I'm like the biggest guy there. I'm like I was 250 at the time, and all my friends were like $1 something. I think Alex is like $1.70, something like that. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll call it that way. And my skinny ass friends were like carrying me. My brother-in-law, my best friend Brandon, and Alex, they were all carrying me into this fucking thing. So we get into the lobby of the fucking Airbnb, and I'm like, guys, I need to just like sit down. And so they're like, look, the elevator's right here. Let's get you on. I'm like, okay. I wish they caught this on video, but they didn't. But me and elevators when I'm drunk, not a good sign. Never good, because this would be the 3rd time I did this in an elevator. I like walked in, I just fully collapsed, smashed my head on the elevator wall, and just collapsed. But then like everyone's initial act were like, oh my god, oh my God, like Charo. And I'm like, I'm just laughing. Like just laughing. And there's a photo, I gotta see if I still have it. There's a photo, and I made t-shirts out of it too. Of me just in my drunk, like dirty ass fucking Miami floor, dude. Nice pink shirt, gone, ruined. But then, like, I remember they dragged me out of the elevator. I remember that part. They dragged me out of the elevator, and I think I was screaming incoherently, like very very loud. And then we got into, I think what was I complaining about? Was it like?
I don't know if you were hungry. Oh no, your shirt was dirty, right? Your nice pink shirt.
Yeah.
He was pissed about that.
I was really mad, and then like they were like, "Do you want food?" I'm like, yeah, like me and my fucking drunken side eye, yeah, like that. And then all of a sudden there was a big ass pizza. I'm like, I want pizza. I'm like fucking drunk as shit. So one of my buddies, he orders pizza.
How was that, buddy?
Yeah, he wants that pizza. Yo, it was you. I thought it was Brandon. My bad. Sorry. So Alex orders like this big ass fucking pizza. It's like 1:00 in the morning, and I'm like, I'm drunk as shit. I'm still drinking high noons. Like I'm drinking the rest of the high noons that are in the fridge now. All of a sudden the pizza comes in. It's this fucking greasy, disgusting. Bro, the best pizza I ever had though. And I took literally a bite of the crust. All of a sudden I just fell back and fell asleep, dude. Oh my God, dude. That was so funny. And then I woke up the next morning. I'm like, you know, Cottonmouth?
Yeah.
You know that it? Like fucking, I had Cottonmouth, and I just see this big ass pizza in front of me. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And like, I don't remember anything after that. So
Do you guys have passports?
Yeah.
yeah, I need one for the
Yeah.
vacation I'm taking.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So have you guys ever been to Coco Bongo? Or I think it's called Coco Bongo. Jim Carrey owns it.
No.
No, see, clubs, like there are 4 of them in the whole world. But if you're single, I definitely recommend you to go. Like, it's just like a crazy, like it's like a rave / club. Like every night's the same thing, but it's like there's little people like swirling around the sky, bringing down balloons for you, handing you balloons to wave around. There's music going off, there's entertainment, and like. And I say entertainment, I mean like you have Batman and Robin fighting the Joker on stage, and it's like these trained like professionals doing backflips and stuff, but attached to like wires, and they start fighting. So like Spider-Man flies right next to you, lands on the side of you, and you're like looking at him with a drink in your hand, and he jumps back, and like then you see Beetlejuice, like a little person, Beetlejuice, come up to you, be like, "No, would you like another drink?" And like all this is going, and it's like a crazy environment. It's like so the club is like around a whole stage, and it's like 3 or 4 floors. You know, and it's just one of the. You have a show, you have dancing, you have music, you have everything, and like, I have videos. Like I have to find it, but like,
Where's this at?
So I went to the one in Punta Cana.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's
so Mexico, Punta Cana? Okay.
Yeah. So there's like 3 or 4, but Jim Carrey owns them.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just
Coco
Bongo, I think it's called.
Coco
yeah,
Bongo. Okay.
Yeah, I could be saying it wrong.
Yeah, we gotta put that in the description.
Last time I went
something.
was in 2018.
Yeah.
You know, but it was one of the craziest like things I've ever gone to in my life.
Holy shit. Dude.
And like you get there and it's like it was in Mexico, so like I was worried at first. So we're walking.
Yeah.
We got dropped off. It was an excursion. We paid for it from the resort we were at.
Yeah.
So they drop us off like a few blocks away, and you're walking like there's like cars with no windshields in it. And, like I'm like, dude, we're about to get mugged on the way over there. And we get in there, and you know I get like a little beer. I'm planning on sipping on this beer the whole time, you know, just make it look like I'm not weird. And I'll never forget this guy comes up to me with his Facebook Live, right? And he gives me a drink. And he's like, hey, I'm like being friendly, like, hey, you know, having a great time.
Yeah.
And he's like, drink. And I'm like, I take a little sip, you know. And he's like, no, drink. I got you a drink. And I'm like, did you roofie me? and he's like, did you put anything in this drink? And it's like 30 people on his live. I can see like, and he's like, yeah. He's like even though he's Mexican, you know. He's like, and I'm like, did you put drugs in my drink? He's like, no, I just bought this. But he was like so pushy. He's like, drink my drink, you know?
Like fucking 30 people live, like, yes, hey, drink.
And I'm like, this guy's about to see my kidneys. I'm like, no, thank you. You can have it back. I feel so mean, but I was like, no, I don't want it.
we don't take drinks from strangers.
No, never, yeah.
Unless you're at my house, in which case we have Bud Lights, which Patrick didn't take, so he didn't actually take drinks from strangers here.
Well, you guys aren't strangers.
Yeah. Fair. I did have a question, but it escapes me now. Oh, even like back to the whole sort of diamond thing. I don't even know if we really got through all that.
We're so far gone from that.
Well, I just wanted to rope it all.
Let's go back. Yeah.
I wanted to rope it all back together. So, what was your experience like in the actual shop? Do you feel like you learned anything that sort of applied, or like? So, did they like
schematics?
Did they push you towards like going to like like
No.
get your bachelor's and stuff? How does that sort of work?
Diamond electronics has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like when I went, nobody wanted that shop. That was a shop for, I hate to say, the rejects, the people who didn't do well.
Right.
And the kids who chose it, we took it seriously. Like we got to learn trigonometry early.
Mm-hmm.
That's my math got a lot better from there. I learned basic conversions. Like to this day, I memorize color codes in my head. I don't have to think about conversions. It just comes naturally to me. I tried teaching my wife conversions once, and she got pretty upset because I just, to me, it's like it's common sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, going from micro to milli to it just,
Right.
you know, like it's you know,
Yeah.
but someone never sees it. They try and do the math out like times 10 to 3 power. I'm like, don't worry about that.
Right.
You know, just remember, you know, like.
Yeah.
But that I learned how to read schematics in Diamond, but a lot of the stuff like they would give you schematics and then like, oh, build this circuit. And after freshman year, you're pretty professional at building circuits, you know. So I was like, that's what they had us do for like 4 years, building different kinds of circuits, designing stuff with multi-sim. So, but engineering-wise, I didn't learn it. So I think they prepared me, like I said, just to work in a sweatshop soldering boards.
Yeah.
You know, like I had friends who went on co-op first. I was gonna go on co-op, and I had a friend go on co-op, and he told me like, all he did all day was solder.
Damn.
I'm like, you can't pay me enough to do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is a co-op like? Because I feel like I know all the other shops, right? Like
Yeah.
automotive makes sense to me. Like even culinary makes sense to me. Like what you would do.
Yeah.
Like you're at a restaurant or you're baking, or if you're an electrician, it's like wiring.
Yeah.
What is electronics?
I think for them it would be more like working in an assembly line kind of fashion.
Oh, damn.
Like for example,
This ain't China.
no, because like I'm trying to think of like when we have like things on production floor at all the jobs I've had, defense contractors, we have people who do a lot of wiring and like they have one specific thing that they do and that's the only thing I can imagine them doing from my class at least.
Right.
Now it looks like they're doing coding, they're doing software, so they could probably
like present day Diamond, they're doing that
present
stuff.
day, yeah.
Okay.
And it looks like it's a top, like it's a number one pick shop now.
Oh wow.
A lot of people pick electronics.
Oh, yeah.
But that's because it really is like the future. You know, a lot of people want to learn how to code.
Oh yeah. Software engineering is huge. I didn't know
Yeah.
they offered that at Diamond. I
Yeah.
feel like if I was going now, I'd probably go for something like that.
Yeah,
honestly.
so like they work with ROVs. They build like the software for them. Pretty much it became the robotics club, like where I learned the most in.
Yeah.
It became the robotics club.
Right. So it wasn't so much the shop that was good for you. It was more of the actual robotics club,
Yeah.
which was more of the extracurricular sort
Yeah.
of stuff. Yeah.
And Diamond is great. Like they compete with colleges, like
Damn.
university levels. Like when we went, I thought we were gonna face other high schools. It was UMass Dartmouth. It was
So robotics is like when you build a robot, they build a robot, and you guys like battle it the fuck out, or
no.
not? It's
so
not that.
you're given a task beforehand.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be in a pool, so it has to be waterproof. You're gonna control it. You're gonna pick up these blocks. You gotta set them up over here. So you have to build something, and you can do whatever you want. Some people build claws. You know, some people just build like scoopers that can just pick things up and like drop it and you leave it. You know,
Like
like-
a forklift, yeah.
yeah. So it's like you see the cool. It's like everyone. You see how people thought about the project. You see how they thought about the question and how they answered it. So it was really cool. And I was walking around. I was more interested in seeing everyone else's project.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, we tested ours already. I know how ours work. I
Right.
want to see how they're doing it. I want to see how they're doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I didn't even think of that. But ours was always like the simpler approach, and we always won. Diamond won. Be college students.
Wow.
But don't forget, we had the help of an instructor.
Right.
These are just kids who go to that college and are just doing it for fun.
Right.
You know, like, but that's where I got the most out of it.
Yeah. So like the extracurricular sort
Yeah.
of outside of school.
But when I went to Diamond, I mean, when I went to college, I will say because of those extracurriculums, I was able to like skip all like a lot of kids struggled with like reading the schematics and trying to learn how to.
Yeah.
And so doing that plus learning the maths and learning the sciences, I could definitely see them by overwhelming. I'd have to worry about that part. I just worry about the maths and sciences.
Right.
That stuff was just second nature. I would go build it. Like we go to lab, right? I'd build it in 20 minutes, get the results, show my teacher. He'd be like, you're good to go. It's an hour and a half lab.
Right.
I just did it in 20 minutes and I'm out there, you know, I'm like, all right,
Peace.
I'm gonna go work on my homework now. You
Hell
know?
yeah, dude. So did your shop instructor kind of help guide you from like the high school to like college transition? What was that sort of transition like?
That's another thing. Nobody helped me. Like,
Yeah.
Not my shop, at least.
Right.
I think now they take it more seriously. We had somebody who came in and told us, hey, you can get these electronics like courses, like classes waived if you go to school for engineering.
Right.
One time when we were juniors.
Right.
You know,
That's something you
and-
got to reiterate for sure, especially
Yeah.
for high school students.
And I was like, oh, that's good to know. But I was
Right.
never planning on going BCC. I'm like, I go
Yeah.
to college, it'll probably be a university.
Right.
But then when you get closer to it and you see how much, once money starts becoming a factor, you're like,
Yeah.
like I graduated and a lot of people, there's a stigma with college. People like, you end up with $100,000 worth of debt.
Right.
Like,
I've definitely said that a few times on this
Oh, did you?
podcast, dude.
I graduated with less than 30,000.
Yeah.
And
You went the smart route though, dude.
Yeah.
You did BCC, right? And then you went
Yeah,
to
I did in dorm.
you went to UMass Dartmouth,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
You're
didn't-
Portuguese too.
Yeah,
so
I didn't dorm, and you come right out of college as an engineer making six figures.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
like, so, and that's another thing that's amazing for me. Like, the engineers, the interns, or not interns, the entry level engineers, 22, 23 years old, and I'm like, and you're giving them big boy money.
Yeah,
And I
dude.
love it because I know in 3 weeks I'm gonna see a new car in that parking lot.
Nice Jeep Wrangler, bro.
That was me.
you got to, bro. You got to.
I got the job in January, and I came with a brand new Jeep Wrangler in March.
Still like new engineer.
Yeah, I was like, and now I look forward to it because we hired them, and I'm just like, all right, 2 or 3 months, I'm gonna see like something crazy.
Let's see what they pull up in.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I love it because I always see like at first a cheap like Toyota Camry broken down.
Right.
And the next thing I see is like this brand new Dodge Charger or something.
Just
like
pull up in like a
something
Jaguar.
powerful, you know? Yeah, like something crazy. Like, I'm like, yep, that's their mortgage right there for the next 5 years.
You gotta reward yourself though, because engineering school is so fucking hard.
It is.
But how did you sort of like? Because I know for me, bro, like I went to Diamond. I was kind of stupid. I wasn't even really interested in
Yes.
trades. I went to Diamond because my buddy told me that Durfee, I'll never amount to anything.
Oh.
He was actually in your shop. I don't know if I should name drop. Fuck, I'll name drop him. Anthony Lewis. I don't know if you knew him. A weeks or B weeks.
I was all of them.
You were in all of them. All of the above. A, B, C.
Every year they switched me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Like, we know Diamond, because Electronics didn't have enough students to fit 2 weeks.
Damn.
So once you left freshman year, you go to sophomore, they combined the whole sophomore class.
Oh, wow.
Right? So, like, I was in B weeks, and then I went to A weeks. And then for junior year, they switched me to A back to B weeks. And I'm like, okay, I know everyone again. Here, guys, I'm back. Like, long time no see. I know we fell apart. And
Right.
that definitely hurt me making a lot of my friends from freshman year, I kind of lost connection with them like halfway through sophomore year.
Right.
And because you make new friends and start hanging out with them. And then I go back to B weeks and it's like, oh, this is not awkward. Like, remember how we used to be really close? I used to go to your house every day after school.
Right.
You want to start doing that again?
Yeah.
And then, you build a relationship. And then senior year comes, right back to 8 weeks.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, deja vu.
Yeah. I remember you guys from back in the day. That's funny shit. So how did you kind of like manage that transition? Because I know for me, like I said, I went to Diamond because I didn't want to go to Durfee, but I wasn't interested in vocations.
Yeah.
And then I graduated and I was kind of like, well, what the fuck do I do
So
now?
I did everything wrong when I went to college. I picked the courses I wasn't interested in.
So did you apply to college like right out of, you graduated in 2010, 2009?
2010. And I
2010.
went part-time to school.
Okay.
Right? I should have went full-time.
Like right off the rip.
So I had nobody tell me how college worked.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Same.
I signed up. Now what? They're like, you need to take
And you
classes.
signed up to BCC, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They're like, I got accepted to a bunch of colleges, but when I got that bill, like when they sent me like the tuition and everything, I'm like,
No.
I'm not paying that. I got a few scholarships too. I had a bunch of grants, and I'm just like,
No.
I still have to pay this much amount.
Can I cash out these scholarships, please?
Yeah. I remember just picking classes I was interested in. I picked some robotics classes. I picked engineering classes. And, I took a bunch of maths that I was supposed to. After 2 years, I'm like, I should be graduating soon, right? They're like, well, you've only been taking 9 to 12 credits a semester. You need to take 15 if you want to graduate in 2 years. And I'm like, all right. So I'm like, well, like 4 classes behind. She's like, yeah, about that. You've taken classes for computer engineering, for electrical engineering, for mechanical engineering, for... Like, I'm taking all these classes of all these different kinds. Like, I want to take classes that are interesting.
Yeah.
Stuff that I want to learn in. And I'm like, I've taken material science classes. Like, so why would you need that if you want to be an electrical engineer?
Right.
I'm like, how was I supposed to know? It's like, you didn't go see an advisor to pick classes? I'm like, I have an advisor.
You're like, what's an advisor?
I'm like, I should got an email or something about this. Like, I just picked my classes and, I would always email somebody, and the person I would email for my PIN number was my advisor. I had no idea. It would say, you need a PIN to unlock this so you can pick your classes.
Yeah.
I'd email her, like, I want to pick these classes. And she's like, here's your PIN.
She didn't even bother to be like, hey, about these classes.
Yeah, nothing like that. So then I ended up I went straight to UMass. I'm like, all right, I got to talk to someone who actually knows, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, how can I come here as smoothly as possible? And
So you were still a student at BCC, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing all these classes?
Yeah.
I want to end up at UMass Dartmouth
Exactly.
anyways, so I'm just going to go right to the source.
Yes, I'm like, and I met this lady, Jennifer Murphy. I'm gonna shout her out because I've recommended her to everybody. I've helped so many. I've helped so many kids. I'm at least half a dozen in already on engineering students from BCC to UMass. Like, I meet their parents at work and like, oh, my son's at BCC right now. I'm like, give me his email. And I actually helped so many kids who were doing the same thing I was doing.
Yeah.
So actually, all of them, all 6 kids I've helped, were taking mechanical classes, and they go see their advisors.
Right.
And then I didn't realize these advisors are just regular teachers who are like in psychology and like they're not engineering majors at all.
Yeah, right.
So they're just
They don't understand.
they see E and G. E and G,
Yeah.
all the BCC, all the classes say E and G. Right.
Right.
When you go to UMass, it's ECE, MCE, for
Yeah.
mechanical, it tells you in the number.
Right.
But when you're at BCC, it just says E and G.
Just generic engineering.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, it's an engineering course, and I like the stuff there. Thermodynamics, sign me up.
Right.
That's just for mechanical. Who knew?
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
right.
and civil.
It's almost like they do that on purpose. It's so weird.
Yeah. So this lady Jennifer, she's like, all right, so you were supposed to leave there with, I think, what is it, 60 credits? She's like,
Yeah, something like that.
you have 90 already.
Damn,
right?
bro.
So let's see how many we can do and what we can work with. She's like, okay, you see, you took these 2 mechanicals. We can probably try to leverage these and waive them to make them count for this elective in electrical. Like she combined a bunch of them, and UMass accepted all of them. You know,
Wow.
like so I was able to like waive a bunch of electives,
Right.
Because I took all these mechanical and computer engineering courses there, and she saved like a whole year at UMass.
Holy shit, dude.
So she's like, your first year at UMass is gonna be part time. She came up with a whole plan for me. She built me a flow chart, and I'm like, so her thing is about helping kids transfer from BCC to UMass.
Oh, wow.
That's her whole like. I don't know. I should say that's her priority. But that's how she helped me. And
Yeah, like that mass transfer sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
and she's like, you're gonna spend. She's like, to make this as smooth as possible for you, you're gonna take your first year here. You're gonna take only 2 classes here, but you're gonna take 2 more classes at BCC.
Right.
So I'm half at BCC and half at UMass.
That was
Right.
so annoying. Dude.
No, I would leave class BCC, drive over to UMass, and drive back to BCC
Oh, damn.
to finish off the day.
Fuck that.
But lucky for me, I live next to BCC, so it was easy. You
Yeah,
know, like-
you're just driving home.
Yeah. So I can't complain too much. It'd be different if I was going to UMass, BCC, UMass, you know.
Yeah, yeah, right.
And it saved me so much time. And I sent kids her way, and kids are like, dude, I took so much classes. Like, I'm going to UMass next semester. Like, she came up with a plan for me. And, like,
Yep.
and I'm like, I'm glad. Like, the second I meet an engineering at BCC, I'm like, electrical or mechanical? Doesn't matter. You're probably taking both of them. I'm going to send you to this lady, and she's going to help you. And she's probably heard my name so many times.
Right.
Probably doesn't remember who I am.
Patrick Chaves recommended me.
Poker Ranger Pat?
We're gonna make a t-shirt out of it.
When I went back to my master's degree, right, at UMass, some kid came up to me. He's like, you know who I am? I'm like, no. He's like, I've been emailing you. You know my dad from Raytheon. And I'm like, oh, you made it here. Congratulations. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Also, for the graphic, can we throw like a fucking Pokeball or some shit in there?
Why not, man? Why not?
Making dreams a reality on this podcast, dude.
Pat, we'll make you custom t-shirts just for you.
All right.
I'll make sure I'll get like a 1-year-old shirt and
Yeah.
just give it to you, son.
Nice little bib.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, so I guess the recommendation there is like, what's the 4-year school you want to go to? Fucking figure out what those classes you got to take
Yeah.
are. You'll avoid a lot of. Honestly, did you hear that BCC? They're doing like free classes now, like free. Are you excited about this? You reached real hard.
No, I'm fucking pissed. Are you kidding me, dude? I wasted so much fucking money. So the thing is, BCC is giving away free classes now. I wish they fucking could have told me this before I had to start paying the tuition back. Are you kidding me?
Talk to the camera. Tell them how you feel.
Like, I'm happy, like for these. I'm happy for these people. Like, hey, you're gonna get free college tuition. But I fucking lucked out. You lucked out too, and I'm pretty sure you lucked out. None of us.
Opposite of lucked out. We didn't luck out. We had to pay.
You got. Oh yeah. Anyways, like I'm pissed because I'm like, fuck. Like, all right, these people are getting free college. What about me? Like, can I just get my fucking tuition just cleared?
A refund.
Like, not even refund. Like, just clear
Yeah,
it.
but I haven't heard about that. Is that like for like financially?
No, it's so. I think it's people over a certain age. They can just because in Rhode Island,
It's always been like that.
in
Has it?
In
Yeah.
Rhode Island, they do the same thing in Rhode Island. Like after a certain age, if you in community colleges in Rhode Island, you can pretty much go to college for free.
Yeah, but what they don't tell you though is like, so after the age of 25 in Massachusetts, you can get a Pell Grant of like $4,000 a year, and
Yep.
BCC is like 3,500.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
I'm moving, dude. It's funny when I first back to the whole fucking high school transition. What do we want to do here? I was gonna go into the military to help pay for college. Then my mom had a breakdown. And she's like, "You're not going to the military. You're
I
my
heard,
only
I heard
son."
it's only tuition though. Right?
Yeah, but dude, that was my mindset. I was like, "Oh, I don't want to pay for college. That's so expensive." And then you figure out things like Pell Grants. You're like, "Dude, I almost died for this country for $4,000
but
a year, bro."
Honestly, I kind of always went like maybe I should have went to the army or something because like a lot of veteran like benefits that you hear about.
Yeah.
And you don't really think about these benefits because you're like, oh, you can get interest rate waived from buying a house. Interest is a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Like when you buy like a $250,000 house, that's cheap nowadays. But like
Right.
let's say $400,000, 1% ends up being like $30,000
Yeah.
after the term of the loan. Like, so it's like, if you can waive a large amount of that percentage going through like a military-backed, what do you call it, like a bank,
Mm-hmm.
you're saving almost $100,000
Oh, yeah.
at the end of your loan.
Right.
You know, I'm like, no one ever tells you this. You can get great health insurance, not great, but average health insurance, I guess. Right? I don't think it's great, but my friends make it seem like it's great.
Yeah.
Well, I think the fact that it's cheap, it's great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I pay a lot of money for health insurance,
Yeah.
and I have such a high deductible that
Yeah.
I'm scared to use it. Like, when it comes to my son, every little thing, I'm like, bring him to the hospital.
Right.
Me, I break a bone, I'm like, if I just hold it straight long enough,
It will eventually heal.
yeah, I'll just try not to walk on it. You know, like,
It'll get better. This ankle's all fucked up,
Right.
but you know what, dude? If I just don't play soccer for a couple of weeks, maybe when I go back, I'll twist it immediately.
yeah.
Yeah. Walking traffic going over there.
Oh, we talked about something real before, and so remember I told you, like, this COVID generation, like, going to school from.
Yeah.
When I went back for my master's, some classes, the grad students combine with undergrads. The undergrads take level 400, the grad students take level 500 courses.
Okay.
So it's like just like 4 or 5 grad students and like 20 or 30 undergrads, and they have easier exams than the grad students. It's a different like amount of work, but it's just like the teacher lectures the same thing to both of us. It's like he expects the grad students to go and study more and like read more and like fill in the blanks that he doesn't explain. And you can definitely tell there's like an age discrepancy. Like the grad students are obviously older than the 20-year-olds that are undergrads. And I was so like, when I was like trying to help these undergrads understand the material, we just had the same lecture, you know, like I didn't, they were all clueless down to like the fundamentals, like the maths, like why things, like just like basic equations, like they should know like derivatives and stuff. And I'm like, didn't you guys not learn this, you know, last semester? Or,
Yeah.
And like, yeah, we kind of, you know, learned, you know, online, and you know, they're kind of embarrassed to say like they cheated their way through.
Yeah.
And then I'm seeing them study for exams, right? I study for exams by going through the textbook, seeing like types of problems, and then trying to tweak the problems myself. Like, all right, if I change this part of the equation, how does it change the whole result, like the whole process? If I change this part, I test myself, you know? I see these kids studying old exams, and I'm like, oh, you think it's going to be a similar exam? He's like, I hope so. And I'm like, these are the only problems you're studying? They're like, no, we looked over the homeworks. I'm like, so you looked at the problems he already gave us, and you're looking at old exams. You don't think he's come up with anything new? All the grad students average is like the 80s and 90s. Undergrads, all under 30.
Wow.
And their test was easier than ours.
Right.
And I'm looking at the grad students, like I said, were all older. So like,
Yeah.
I think they were past the learning from home or learning online kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can definitely see one side knows how to study, knows how to learn, knows how to prepare for exams.
Right.
And the other class needs the book in front of them to kind of like look through the, you know, try to solve it themselves.
Like an old book, yeah.
And I'm like, this is scary.
Scary.
Like,
Because that's one of the biggest things you learn, definitely in university, but definitely in engineering, is like how to learn, right?
Yeah.
Because in high school, I feel like we just learned memorization. I don't know, Tiago, how you feel about like high school and learning and stuff, but I feel like it was like you have an exam on Friday or whatever. It's like, here's what's going to be on it for the most part. And you're just like, cram.
What's scary about high school, like a lot of people don't tell you, or you hear all the time, like, I don't know if you ever see, like, you always hear, like, oh, he was so smart, but he ended up being like a bum or something like that.
Yep.
So, but in high school, I didn't have to study. A lot of people I know didn't have to study. None of my friends had to study. We would all go there, get B's and A's.
Right.
I would listen to class. I would take some good notes. And
Must be fucking nice to get B's and A's, guy.
well, no, but what I'm trying to say is I didn't learn how to study.
Yeah.
So my first year in college, I go into like, I skip pre-cal. I'm like, I took basic pre-cal in high school. I don't need to take it in college.
Yeah.
I'm going straight to Calculus 1, you know? And I'm like, I worked so hard to get a C minus.
Yeesh.
You know, like I ended up retaking it because I wanted to increase my GPA.
Yeah.
So I took it when I had a smaller workload. I took Calculus 2, 3, and differential equations. And then after I took all those calculus courses, I was like, my junior year, I'm like, I'll just take Calc 1 again. You know, like,
A little refresher.
yeah. And it was so easy, you know, but like, it's because I didn't know how to study though. Even my histories exams in college, I'm like, I'm just listening in class, like sitting there, like it's a story time.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this is really interesting stuff. And then they ask you questions on specific years and stuff. I'm like, in high school.
Fuck.
In high school, they would just ask us, what did he do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I know what he did, but when did he do it?
Right.
Why is that
Now you
important?
gotta figure out the
I'm like,
years
why is
and
that
shit.
even important?
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm getting angry during these tests. Like, this, what about multiple choice? You know, like
Whatever happened to that?
but they say all the time, like that's what happens to a lot of kids in elementary school and middle school. They're so gifted,
Yeah.
right, that they don't have to study and they
Right.
never learn how to study. They never learn how to sit down and concentrate and work at it. So when they get older, they expect everything to be that easy,
Yeah.
and when it's not, they spiral.
Yeah. So how do you study? Like, what is the, like?
For me, it's I sit down, I read, and I try to reverse engineer things.
Okay.
So like I'll see like a problem set up, and it'll show you like like how it goes down, right?
Right.
And then I'm like, all right, now I'll go to the top of the problem. Let's change this, and see how that trickles down.
Right.
You know, and then I repeat that process a bunch of times until I understand that whole section of that, for math wise, that
Right,
whole
right,
section
right.
of that book. And I remember one time, I was actually taking a math. It's analog electronics in college, and I did that a bunch of times. And the teacher gave us a problem, and I remember, I made this problem up kind of. It's impossible to do because of the boundaries of the circuit, like of the components. And I'm like, not possible to do this law. And I passed it in like that. And I finished the test like an hour earlier than anyone else. So in engineering, by the way, you only get 2 or 3 problems on tests.
Right.
But each problem gives you like 30 minutes to solve because a bunch of equations, math. And he's like, you done already? I'm like, yeah. I sit out there and like 30, 45 minutes goes by. The next kid comes out. I'm like, wow, you're the second person to finish? I'm like, I must have did something horribly wrong.
I know that feeling, dude.
And then I talked to the teacher afterwards. I got 100. And he's like, and he wrote on it. He's like, I was still hoping you would still try to solve it. Like he wanted me to do the math.
Right.
You know? But because I saw like the boundaries he set, I'm like, not plausible. And I explained why in words. They do no math at all.
Right.
Next problem. You know?
Just saved yourself so much time.
And he's like, you were right, but I still wanted to see the work.
Right,
But
right.
He's like, I'm not going to mark you wrong for this because
Right.
I obviously studied it.
Shit, I got the right answer.
But I was the only person to do that in the class,
Right.
you know. But that's because the way I do things. Like I try to see it and I go online, try to see like, how is this plausible? Like, how do you solve this like that? And
Right.
It was definitely a lot. I studied a lot.
Yeah,
in college.
that's definitely something that was difficult for me in college, is just like learning how to learn, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But is there like any like kind of breakdowns? Because a lot of like trades guys will like watch this, and you guys have like a sort of schooling that you have to do to get like your licensure and stuff, right? And I imagine you guys are very hands-on guys, so it's like sitting down with a textbook is kind of like not foreign per se, but kind of annoying. Is there any sort of tips in that regard of like, because it's obviously not as math based. Is there any tips in general for learning or?
I don't know.
Before you actually dive into. Oh no, the light. Oh, okay, there we
it's
go. And with the plumbing, it was you do need to know equations and everything like that. It's not like on the engineering level, but you do need to know equations. So there is a little bit of math into it. Not like you guys, but there is some math. But the way it goes down is you learn more on field than like, because when you really think about it, like not a lot of people are going not a lot of people like the books, anything like that. And I mean, you do, like I said, when you learn the code for plumbing, it's the code because of the book, not because the code because of what work experience. You know what I mean? So, but there's some equations in there they need to know and everything like that. The plumbing tests for journeyman plumbers is like multiple choice and then like a bunch of equations on one page. So
when I was in college, learning for me was about repetition.
Yep.
Just doing things over and over and over again until it felt natural.
Yep.
Now, it's more I don't learn. I don't try. Like my job, I do a lot of reading. I'm always reading documents, always reading journal. I probably read like close to 100 pages worth of like material a day.
A day?
A day.
Jeez.
Like
I can barely read 5 pages.
I'm reading.
Same.
I'm reading journals. I'm reading like just. So my thing is, I want to learn everything, but why?
Yeah.
I don't learn how to do it. I learn why I need it. Because this way, when I see a problem, I kind of go into that bank and I'm like, all right, I think the Monte Carlo will work, but how do I do that? Then I go learn how to do it. But I want to learn why ahead of time, just so if I ever face that situation, I know what I need to learn to tackle it. Right. So nowadays, when I try to learn, I'm just trying to just learn different techniques, I should say, and then cross that bridge when the time comes. When the time comes, it's all just like college, repetition, trying to see examples and like repeat it.
because I feel like that's a hard thing for people in school in general, because they're sitting. That's the criticism a lot of people have, especially high school. It's like, when am I ever going to use this? Why is this important?
Yeah.
And if it's like, if that why isn't connected to what you're learning, you just fucking drift off into space.
Yeah.
But if there's like something concrete, like if you guys are learning like a plumbing technique that you could apply to the job next week, you're like, well, I should probably fucking pay attention to this,
Yeah.
you know? Or if it's like you're working on an equation for like a fucking destroyer, it's like, no, I need this like next week or next month or something. But if it's something super esoteric and like fucking off in the distance or not important, you're just like, well, fuck this. But I love that idea of like, start with the why. Why am I doing this? Why am I learning this? Why does it even matter? Because if the why is there, then it's like you'll have the motivation.
Yeah.
Because that's usually the hard part, is the motivation.
And learning how to do something is so pointless unless you have a task to do it. So I remember my first few years, I was trying to like take every course that they threw at me. Because I'm like, it adds to your resume. Yeah. Right. And I took so many courses that were recommended to me by my bosses and everything, but I never had a task for it. So I spent like a week going to this course, you know, like whether it's on a naval base or whether it's like in a college, and learning how to do it. You know, and that's all you focus on. They pay for you to go there. Like, you have no other work. It's just learn how to do it. And then 4 years go by and I never do it. Right. And then we finally got a task. You took this course 4 years ago, remember? Right. And I'm like, yeah. And they showed me the work. I'm like, I have no idea how to do that. It's like, oh, we took the course. I'm like, yeah, 4 years ago. And I don't even know if I still have the notebooks for that. You know, like, I'm going to have to relearn how to do this all over again. If I had some material, like tasks to do ahead of time, when it was still fresh in my brain, I would have learned it. And then I could have gone back to I save all my work. You know, I save all my work. So if I ever have to do it again, let's go back to that and see how I did it the first time. And another thing I've gotten really good at as I got older is taking notes and writing a lot of notes. Like, how did I figure this out and why? Right. You know, I'll link journal notes of pages, you know, so I can go right back to that page and see what page made it click for me.
Yeah, right. And breaking it down for yourself. Because that's such a big thing about learning in general, is like having the refresher. Because like you're just not gonna remember everything forever, bro. Like, I forget shit I did last week or the month before, you know. But if you, to your point, if you have like some notes or something to go back to, be like that breakdown, bro, it's so helpful, bro. It's so freaking helpful.
And I also I'm always thinking about, like, I hate to say like I'm morbid, but like if I just disappear tomorrow, I want to make the next person's job a little bit easier. Right. So I always put it on the shared drives, and I call it like how to do this, how to do that. Yeah. And this way, it's like, and I'm always thinking if someone else were to read this, that's not me. You know, would this make sense? Right. You know, and
it's funny. We were joking in the beginning about Patrick being a teacher, but dude, bro, like the way you're talking about that, like that is teaching. That is essentially what it is. Like, someone else could be able to understand what the fuck I'm doing here.
I just don't want to ever be responsible. Like, even managing, I never want to be a manager. Like, my boss asked me recently if that's something I want to put in the cards, because I'm like, no, because I don't even like, I'm not even a delegator. Like, if like in college, right? When I was that kid that I'll do the whole project. Yeah, like I'll do the whole thing. Like, give me the task and just show up to presentation. I'll give you your parts. Why? No, it's a good question. Maybe it's a trust thing, but like I feel like if someone were to take initiative and be like, oh, I'll do that, I'm like, oh, perfect, thank you. But it's like, for me, it's like half the time it's easier for me to just do it and explain it. Yeah. You know,
because you know why I asked that question is because like me and Patrick played soccer growing up, and you know, for many years, and a lot of times he picked teams, and he was very good at picking teams. And when he picked the teams, he was very good at being like, "Hey, be here." So, like, he managed the team. You know, I know it's sports are different than the workplace, but it's still something about you that's good at that.
But the thing is, though, the reason why I picked the teams was because I knew what positions people liked and what we needed. Yeah. So when I told them go play that position, it's because I know they like that position already. Right. So it's easier to tell someone to do something they like to do. Yeah. Than to be like, hey, I know you never played goalie before, but you're a goalie today. Yeah. You know, like,
dude, especially the position of goal. Well, Thiago played goalkeeper a little bit.
I remember. I played with him before.
Yeah. Did you play? You played us at Omniplex?
I did. I was a fucking G. MVP status right there. Nah, that was a good time. And you're like really smart when it comes on the pitch too. Like, you just know how to like properly put people in like good positions.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I've been playing every Monday, and I'm excited because I'm gonna end up coaching my son's team. Right. Alex is gonna help me too. You know,
I got you.
And
I still got my coaching notebooks.
Right. And there's a guy there who brings his son. His son's like in high school, and I watch him play. Like, I study him, and I'm just like, hey, you need to play this position for now, because I see you're naturally a right footer. I told him, like, I know you want to be on the left side because that ball curves in when you take a shot, but when you receive it, you look so awkward. Like, you're not fluid. Let's practice on the right side. Get great at receiving balls. Right. Work on that left foot. And then when you feel comfortable, and I always see him like his body naturally just goes to the left. And then I realize what happens is the older guys, they all want to play on the right side because that's where they feel most comfortable.
Right.
And they push him out. I'm like, dude, that's your position. Just stay there. They're gonna feel awkward too eventually, and they're gonna end up moving. You know, like
right.
it's like playing chicken.
Yeah,
Who's gonna leave the position first?
Right.
And I'm like, don't be scared of them. You know, half the time it's like your dad's friends anyway. So
It's funny, man. I feel like you're gonna find yourself in that manager role because the way I look at, dude, honestly, it's usually the people who like resist management the most who are the best at it. Because the people who seek management, it's always some ego thing. It's like they want to control other people. They want to tell other people what to do. It's always like the individual
yeah,
contributors.
maybe, but
Yeah, well, maybe not in work. Maybe you'll
Yeah.
coach first.
Maybe,
but,
yeah,
but,
yeah.
but in general, bro, it's like you definitely have that sort of thing in you, or whatever. But happy to coach anytime, dude. I miss fucking coaching with Tiago and fucking coaching in Newport. I mean,
My thing was Alex was like you, where he like broke shit down and everything like that. Me, I'm just like fucking like Pep Guardiola, like fucking come on, like screaming and shit, like giving high energy.
infuse the energy.
Like I'm just like come on, like I'm like fucking like giving them like motivational speeches, and then fucking they just score goals because of Alex's tactics. But
none of my friends like playing pro clubs with me because I'm over here giving like technical stuff. I'm like, all right, if you see 2 defenders in the box, why are you passing in the box?
you bust out the whiteboard
I
with
wish.
the markers,
Like,
bro. I was that guy.
like at halftime with like Pep Guardiola, like that fucking meme. Nobody talk. Sit down. Nobody talk. That's Patrick on phone gloves. Hey Pat, this has been a very eventful night. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed your
Yeah,
your
I've had a
company,
great time. Yeah.
dude. I've always enjoyed Alex's company, especially dressing up as a traffic cone right now. Pat, thank you so much for being on. You know, yeah, too legit. Quick little thing, we do have some merch now. We got hats and shirts, and not to be revealed yet, but we do have hats and shirts. They're in the process. I made a new design. That's also in the process. I'm very excited for that design. It might get me fucking beheaded, but I'm very happy for the design. Yeah. Any last minute comments you wanna say, Patrick?
Anything we didn't touch on?
Yeah. Anything, that way we can have it for part 2. Maybe we can always look back. Maybe take notes.
You just do what you like to do. Like I feel a lot of people want to chase that money, and I feel like there's so many ways to get money. Money is something. It's always going to be easy. If you're meant to have money, money's going to come to you. You know, it's whether you're a trucker or if you're a teacher or a psychologist. You know, like go to college for. I mean, I say stay in STEM. You know, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Those are, for me, preferable. But if you like doing what you're doing, you know, money's going to come.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting it in your main job, you'll find a side hustle. You know.
Yeah, and then if you're looking for a side hustle, follow Poker Ranger Pat.
Yeah.
Little slight plug. We didn't touch on Pokemon at all. Do we want to just do a little excursion there before we head out?
We could. I mean,
What was the best card you pulled?
I mean, I've pulled Charizards. I've pulled shinies. I pulled
Chambo. Like no, I want the best card, Pat.
Oh man. I mean, as a kid, those cards I pulled, if I kept them in good condition, were all could have paid for my house.
Damn,
Easily.
Easily. I remember, and it sucks. I gave away so many cards as I got older to kids who were still collecting it, and I'm like, I don't collect these anymore. Just take it. And I'm looking back, I'm like, those are all base set. Those are all like $1,000 cards now.
Damn, bro.
And I reached out to them like, oh, dude, I lost that a long time ago. Like,
Bro, I got some Pokemon cards upstairs. I might have you take a look after this. It might not hurt. Who knows? I might have a Charizard or some shit.
no, even if you don't, there's actually a lot of cards that just like fan favorites and people just like it.
Yeah,
so it's really sellable.
Right.
So if you have it on you, we can look at it. I can show you an app too that you can just take a picture of the card and it tells you the price average of what it sells on eBay or TCG Player and stuff like that.
I have a lot of them in like the plastic sleeves still. And
So you may have kept them in great condition then.
Yeah. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, they can probably pay for our fucking merch. Pat, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. This has been... Fuck, I might lose my chance. This is Patrick. This is Alex. I'm Tiago. This has been the Two Legit Podcast. Later.